everybody, hello and welcome back to another episode of The Watchable with me, Jean-Louis. Make some noise, get excited wherever you are. We are back with another action-packed episode for you today, covering the world of boxing, covering the world of sports and beyond, right here on the hottest show in all the globe. With me, Jean-Louis, right here on the Watch Report on YouTube and every podcasting platform here imaginable. Absolutely, thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the show. We got a jam-packed episode for you today. We got the likes of, again, the breaking news with Shakur Stevenson employee Schofield now no longer happening. Has everybody all up in arms? The breaking news with the fact that, hey, we still got not only with recapping your own thoughts on what you think is going to happen over the weekend, but also we got some titillating news on the landscape of boxing with the likes of Gervonta Davis potentially willing to fight Devin Haney now at 140 and or 147. Oh, it's entirely possible. Everything's all of a sudden, it's not up in the air. It's a legitimate possibility. We are all on pins and needles. What can come next? We got to talk about all this and more. Also, what to expect from Shakur coming in. Specifically, now with the new replacement, even though it's not who we wanted to see, what is it exactly that we're going to have transpired when we look at the landscape of Shakur Stevenson and his improvement and his development, and with him still being a big star, he still got something to prove. What is that something exactly? All that and what's going to be talked about right here on the show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. And also, please remember, we're available on every podcasting platform. Excuse me, imaginable. And please go on and like the stream, like the video, comment your thoughts and opinions right here so we can bring it up in the chat right now for whatever you all want to discuss. And please leave a like on the video, comment your thoughts and opinions, subscribe to the channel, and share the show with everybody that you know so we can keep on building up this empire together. Absolutely. We are on a roll. We are making some moves, and we are making a strong community. All thanks to you and your support, so I appreciate it all the more. But without further ado, we got a show to do. We got boxing cover. And since we got boxing cover, it is time to step into the ring. That's right, ring the bell. Let's get it started. Round one underway. What have we got? We already got some people chatting in the comments already. Let's see what you all have to say as we've started out your day. Absolutely. Oh, yes, anyways. So hold on. Excuse me. Hold on a minute. Welch, now Daniel Dubois has been poisoned. What the word is going on? Wait a second. Hold up. What do you mean Daniel Dubois has been poisoned? Rusty, also, how you doing? Appreciate you coming in. Thanks for joining in on the show. J Riggs, what's up with it? We're going to make your lunch break worthwhile, and we ain't going to waste no time with it. We're going to get the show started, absolutely. And but excuse me, while I thank you all for tuning in, what the world do you mean that Daniel Dubois has been poisoned? Hold on a minute. Wait a second. Hey, elaborate. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me are you sure? Look, I had a whole show set up. Don't tell me that we got another fight that's potentially out the pasture with not happening at all. Okay, wait a minute. What we do best, we always go and make this show accommodating, and we keep on elevating. And like we always do, we got to make sure that we give you all the most poignant level of information. Let me pull up Twitter right now, and since we're going in to Twitter, well, we might as well go into, I don't even know what to call this room. Be perfectly frank, but doggone it, we got everything pulled up. Let's go with it right now. Let's check Twitter, shall we? As we move on and transition. And breaking news for those of you who now are just aware, Daniel Dubois, or per the Ring magazine, Daniel Dubois, the Ring has learned that the IBF heavyweight world champion Daniel Dubois is sick and currently being evaluated by a doctor. A replacement is being pursued in the event that Dubois is unable to move forward with his title defense against Joseph Parker on Saturday. Well, my gosh, oh my goodness. Wait a minute, hold up. Wait a second. No, this can't be. Don't tell me this can't be happening. My gosh, please don't tell me. Again, Warlock Boxing, thank you for tuning in. Wait, let me go pull up the comments real quick. We're going back to the doggone to that picture. We're going back to picture. Give me 1 second. But Warlock Boxing, thank you for tuning in. Glad that you're here. Glad that you showed up. Wait a minute. Glad that everybody's tuning in. Well, my gosh, we got people joining in left, right, and center. And what a way to start the show. I didn't think this is how it was going to happen, but doggone it, this is where we at. And so it's like, It rolls off. Look, I mean, look, shoot, rolls off the tongue a little sweater, a little sweeter to say that they're sick than dropping out. At least they're not just pulling from fights. But wait a minute, hold on, what the world? Yeah, Rusty, you just learning that acting sick is another word for not getting paid enough. Are you sure? And dropping out. Look, shoot. Wait a minute. Hold on. We gotta. I'm probably gonna break these buttons trying to use these sound effects. Let's pump the brakes real quick. Again, for those of you who don't know, in world boxing, there must be something in the water. I don't know what's going on. It's bizarre, it's strange, it's odd, it's weird. Nothing makes sense. Again, now that we're breaking news for those who are just new, hey, leave a like on the stream. This community is great. We can get more people to get involved with learning all of this that's just happening right now. I'm glad I came in. I got on when I did, because doggone it, this might just take up a whole aspect of the show. We still got Shakur and other things to talk about, absolutely, with Shakur's replacement, with Floyd Schofield pulling out. Now with Daniel Dubois, everybody is now, well, what looked to be the called chicken pox. Potentially, you might be right, Mr. Case. I don't know what may happen. Again, for those of you who do not know, what you need to understand, not that one, not wrong one. There we go. We have a situation where Daniel Dubois is currently sick and potentially is not going to be able to fight the likes of Joseph Parker as the co-main event for the last crescendo with Archibald BF and Bevo, one of the what was looking to be one of the biggest cards that we had seen in boxing history. Genuinely, top to bottom, main event after main event after main event, caliber talent, caliber opposition, facing off against each other. Now it's potentially all up in smoke, and we are sitting here, we're concerned. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is incredibly bad. We are in dire straits. We're in a potential situation. This whole card, the day before, could be done. Finito. Absolutely, essentially imploding on itself. How, first it was Floyd Schofield. Now it's Daniel Dubois. Let's hope and pray that we don't get the likes of somebody like a Bevo or Better BF getting sick. Caballero versus Big Bang Zhang. I don't know if that fight may still happen because somebody could catch something. What's in the water? What is transpiring? How is this? What does this mean for the card as a whole? Let's see. I'm over Arabian boxing card. Now, let's pump the brakes a little bit there. AKA scared of boxing, just playing, you know. Well, let's answer some of these concerns and qualms right now. Let's first start off the show. Is this a situation where, hey, boxing's backfired? A legitimate situation where it's stuff ain't never gonna be. Where it's like, oh man, this whole Saudi Arabia type situation, everybody having a renaissance in the boxing world, with this being seemingly one of the biggest steps on that sentiment, now just blowing up in smoke. Is it a need to be concerned for the likes of Saudi Arabia and this whole rejuvenation and renaissance of the boxing world? I wouldn't say that. Now, it is incredibly bad that we're seeing this level of almost one after another type drop off. Again, for those of you who don't know, who are just tuning in, Daniel Dubois is currently sick, is being evaluated. The fight could still happen. And as we're going through the show, I will keep updated to making sure that we get more news to validate whether or not this fight is indeed off or on between Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker. But regardless of which, third biggest fighter, or the quote-unquote third biggest fighter of the card, Shakur Stevenson, done versus Floyd Schofield, now getting replaced by who was the brother? He's getting replaced by, hold on, I wrote it down. Oh shoot, what's his name? Brother, I wrote it down. Josh Padley, that's what it is. Getting replaced by Josh Padley. Now we're going to do Dubois versus Joseph Parker. I don't know who they're going to find to replace. I hope he might just have to fight sick. Let's be perfectly honest. He might just have to fight sick, because I don't think that this is a situation where they can afford to have this go right. At this point, one fight, okay. It's so stacked that you can still have some fights go by the wayside and still be okay. But now, two of the three biggest fights that you had on the card now are in jeopardy. Oh, it's a problem. Oh, it's a major problem. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Everybody's shaking their head. Everybody's shocked. I was not expecting to start out the show with this stuff. Rusty Cage told me about this. He's the one that let me know. So now it's like look, at this point, hey, Jake Paul versus Joseph Parker may just be the legitimate situation. That may be the fight. Who knows what may transpire at this point in time? And let's be perfectly real. Going back to somebody else's comments, Rusty Cage specifically. Tired of the Arabian boxing cards. Let's discuss this. I would be slow to overreact due to the fact that we have a situation where, hey, almost up until this one event, every other event has been legit, on the level, great, phenomenal. So I wouldn't say that all of a sudden I'm tired, because let's be perfectly honest, without Saudi Arabia and without Turkey al-Sheikh, we would not be getting into any of these fights. Again, not trying to ride for Turkey, not trying to be he's a golden savior, not trying to do any of that. I'm being real. The biggest thing we had gotten, 2023 was the best year we had in boxing before Turkey came on the scene, really. And we had gotten, in a way, undisputed, Crawford, undisputed, couple of Canelo fights, but even some of them were kind of on the downtrend, the start of the problems that we have with Canelo now. So it wasn't like, that was one of the best years. Phenomenal. But before that, for almost over a decade, boxing had been incredibly concerning. It was incredibly in a bad way. Wasn't great. And so because of that, without Turkey al-Sheikh, we wouldn't be getting Fury versus Usyk. We wouldn't be getting the likes of Bivol versus Beterbiev 1 and 2. Joseph Parker versus the likes of Dubois probably would have been so far gone to actually be made. The likes of Usyk, not Usyk versus AJ, excuse me. The likes of Dubois versus Anthony Joshua probably wouldn't happen. Shoot, we got closer to Wilder versus AJ under the banner of Turkey al-Sheikh than we have when they were both under their respective promotions of Matchroom and I believe the PBC. And it was like that was the fight to make at the height of at one point in time. Would have broken so many records, yet didn't come through. So I wouldn't say I'm tired of it, because without it, I don't see us getting a lot of the fights that we have been getting. But I will say this is looking to be potentially a very big setback for the landscape of this renaissance that Turkey al-Sheikh has been trying to bring to the world of boxing, at least as we know it. I just think who in their right mind feels they have to record their loved ones in the hospital and post it and try to prove they're justice or post to any of your again, I can't think of why people do things, what drives people to do these things. Sadly, I can't get inside their mind. We can only speculate. But I mean, everybody's trying to figure this out. We're all learning this as we speak right now. Let's be perfectly frank. This is not something that I knew. This is something that I was informed about by you all. And again, why we love this community. Oh, it's incredible. But now that this is the case, shoot, we're all trying to make the heads and tails of it all. What is something real? Is somebody lying? Is something legitimate? Are people pulling out? I think it's a legitimate situation of they're actually sick. At least on the Daniel Dubois side. Floyd Schofield, whole nother conversation. And we get ready to jump into that conversation. But when it comes to Daniel Dubois and this whole sickness issue, I don't think this is something that he's pulling out just because he ain't getting paid enough. Because he's fought under Turkey al-Sheikh before on 2 separate occasions. And it was just fine. Even as champion, getting an opportunity to get face off against AJ was because he was working alongside the likes of Turkey al-Sheikh. And every time he won, he got a bigger opportunity and capitalized on it. And so it's like, I don't think for him specifically, it's the money. I don't think for Floyd Schofield, it was the money as to why he's not fighting. I think Daniel Dubois is legitimate. He's injured. He was sick. Schofield, maybe another conversation, and we're going to talk about it. But let's first get you all's reactions, as we got a lot of people coming in right now. And thank you so much for tuning in to the show. Y'all are indeed wonderful. And hopefully got your coffee, because we got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. Who knows what may break as this show goes on. Jake Paul needs to stay away from Parker. He is no joke to play with. Jake Paul, Jake Paul's not fighting. Jake Paul is getting nowhere close to any legitimate fight. Let's be perfect. If Canelo was the only reason, again, we've talked about this before. The only reason why Jake Paul is even in the midst of wanting to fight a likes of Canelo. It's because that's the biggest possible payday he could ever get in his entire life. And after that, he wouldn't box again. And he nearly got that. I told y'all this was his MO over a year ago. I told y'all this when he was fighting the likes of early Tyron Woodley, when he didn't fight Hasim Rahman, when he was going to fight the likes of it, when he did fight Anderson Silva, and leading up to the Mike Tyson fight. Make a mockery of the icons and make you seem like all that in a bag of chips when you're really not. Get the hate train going, and then boom, ultimately get your fight with Canelo, cash out. You're going to lose, but then, hey, after that, you don't got to fight anymore because you would have made upwards of potentially $100 million. And now you can retire. That's what his end game was. That's why he got, mind you, understand, he got offered after fighting Mike Tyson 2 days later. Daniel Dubois offered him a shot at his title. I'm so serious. A real DM. It's not fake. Daniel Dubois said it himself. It's a real thing. Daniel Dubois offered him a shot at the IBF title directly after we saw Jake Paul versus Tyson. Archer Beterbiev said, hey, if you want a real shot, come fight for my title. Let's get to the negotiation table. Let's talk. That was a real, legitimate proposition. That wasn't fake. That was actual. They were being serious about it. And Jake Paul just blew him off because he knew he'll die against them. Both of them. He will die. Physically die. But he wants to die making money. So if he gonna die, let me fight the biggest name in the sport. The only valid, legitimate, talented boxer. Let me fight him. And die on a better cash. I'm still gonna die. But I'm gonna die on a better cash. That's what he wants to do. Hence, that's why he's going about everything he's going about. But he ain't messing with Dubois. Not him. He ain't messing with, he ain't messing with Joseph Parker or Dubois. If you're not named Canelo, he doesn't want to get in the ring with you legitimately because you're not a big enough name. You got all the talent to beat him. But unless you are a big-time star and a multi-$100 million type asset, which no disrespect to Joseph Parker or Daniel Dubois, but that's what Jake Paul's been on. So that's why he is where he is. That's why he's doing what he's doing. That's why he fought Mike Tyson, because Mike Tyson was an easy multi-million-dollar payday. It's stupid. I hate it, but it's the truth. Hence why we see him acting the way he acts. But he won't fight Joseph Parker. He'll never fight Joseph Parker. Let's see. Jazzy, how you doing? Appreciate you coming in. Good to see you. Thanks for joining in to the show. Again, leave a like on the stream now that you're here. Also, Al Booga, I didn't get to say what's up to you. What's up to you? Thanks for tuning in. How you doing? Appreciate you coming along. We still got to see what other people have to say. Jazzy, did Frank Martin move to 140? I am not entirely sure. I believe he did. But again, I would have to fact check for yourself. I think he moved up to 140 after the Tank fight. But I could be wrong. Again, I could be dead wrong. Especially because he looked incredibly weight drained at 135 going up against Tank. At least in the build up to the fight. And so he may have just moved up to 140. I can't validate for sure. I believe, based on what I remember. But validate for yourself. But I believe, yes, he has moved up to 140 if I remember seeing the news correctly. But let's see. I'm surprised Virgil Ortiz hasn't fallen there. Look, hey, no, don't clap for that. Shoot. I hope and pray that we don't get anybody else come and say this can't happen. I can't afford for that to happen. Virgil Ortiz and Madrimov, that's supposed to be my fight of the night. That was supposed to be my fight of the night. Outside of Bivol and Beterbiev, that was supposed to be the fight I was most excited to see. I hope and pray that don't happen. Please. Oh, gosh, please. Don't let that transpire. I'm still mad at Ortiz when he made me buy my first ringside tickets against Stanionis and got hospitalized. Had no shit for to watch boy fights. Look, a lot of people are paying a lot of money for a card that's supposed to be incredible. Oh, they're going to be hot. They're going to feel the same way you feel. When, if in fact, we see this happening, and we want the boxers to be at their best. We hope all their health is okay. Oh, we don't want nothing to go bad. Absolutely. It's just, one after another. I would be so hesitant to do anything if I was in Saudi Arabia right now with everybody around me, all of my peers, all of a sudden getting sick at the same time, potentially missing out on major paydays due to this sickness. Oh, it's bad. Oh, it's incredibly bad. It's scary. It is indeed scary. Listen, boxers shaking in their boots, having to fight in Saudi because they know Turkey ain't putting them against nobody. And you know what? That's a great talking point to go to the next segment. Great talking about for next time. And let's see. Yeah, everyone that fights under Matchroom Fights has a curse to lose. I think Matchroom is like 0-16 in major fights. Didn't they go? What was it? Was it they lost every fight in the Matchroom versus Quisenberry thing? I don't know. It may be that they just shoot. I mean, I know Eddie Hearn's hot because he's been taking hit after hit after hit after hit as a promoter with everybody under his belt. But I'm still glad he's making these fights because it's the fights that we want to see. But again, let's go back to this. Let's go back to excuse me, M's comment. Also, M's, what's good with you? How you doing? I didn't even say hi. Jay Riggs also, how you doing? I didn't even say hi. With all this stuff going on, I'm so sorry. We haven't even gotten to say what's up to everybody in the chat. I'm periodically going back through, making sure I say what's up to y'all. Please, again, leave a like on the stream. We got a lot to talk about right now. It's going to be a show that everybody's going to want to see about. So if you would, please leave a like on the stream and share it with everybody. And whether you're at your job, at your work, with your boss, hey, show them what we got going on. Because they're going to want to see what we have right here on the Welch Report. Absolutely. Let's see. Yeah, they went 5-0 in the 5v5. They did. Oh, it was bad. But I think, going back to M's comment, I don't think that on the whole, it's boxers that are shaking in their boots. Genuine. Because if I'm being real, we've seen a lot of situations where it's been politics behind the scenes and promoters that have been holding up fights not happen. Not the likes of the fighters themselves who actually want to get into the ring. Now, there are some that are, yes, indeed ducking. There are some that are, yes, not actively looking for their hardest test. But a lot of the time, most of them do. Most of them are. Like, Floyd wanted to smoke, apparently wanted to smoke before getting hurt, but I can't even put air quotes around that because now with everybody getting sick, maybe that illness isn't just an invalid situation. We've seen the likes of Daniel Dubois wanting work, getting in the ring when the opportunity became available. Everybody started falling in line, stepping and doing what they wanted to do. Gervonta Davis, yeah, Tank is another one who doesn't willingly take risks, and we're going to talk about that. I got that as a topic for the show. What his newfound potential bravado is for fighting David Haney based on a recent interview, and is that valid or is it fake? Talk about that also. But the whole is, I think most boxers, if not all, genuinely want to get in the ring and be tested. Most of them. AJ did it. Even before Turkey was coming on the scene. The likes of Usyk was doing it. Magimov was getting ready to fight Boachuk and Virgil Ortiz within the span of 4 months, which is preposterous. Utterly insane. Dustin Parker finally has been getting quality fights against good opponents in contention for a title, which is great. So it's like, hey, I wouldn't say, in a way, phenomenal. Terrence Crawford, been trying to get the smoke with everybody. Errol Spence Jr., whenever he comes back, he wants smoke with everybody. Genuinely. There's a lot of people that don't duck. I think we get overshadowed by the people that do. And the noise that it makes because they're so high profile. A lot of them, like, hey, oh boy. It overshadows the people that are actually trying to work and actually trying to make themselves indeed great. But again, it's we got a lot. We got people commenting. Hold on, let me see. Oscar doesn't seem keen on putting his fighters in 50-50 fights. Not sure if he would ever do something like a 5v5. He's talked that he would, but again, that's on social media. He's talked like he would be about it, but again, would he actually do it? I don't know. Does he have a stable deep enough to be competitive in it? No disrespect to his fighters under it, but since he lost Ryan Garcia, I believe he lost Ryan Garcia, and he lost the likes of no, he didn't. Did he lose Ryan Garcia? No, I think he still has Ryan Garcia. But he lost Canelo and a bunch of other fighters. And now it's like, oh boy. Excuse me. He does not end. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. My apologies. So Canelo, Ryan, Tio, Munguia, all of them are under. Okay, appreciate it. Thank you, Jay Riggs. So all of them are under the banner of Golden Boy Promotions. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so excuse me. Let me take that back. Maybe he would. The stable would be deep enough. However, honestly, would the money be there? Because even with all those names that are mentioned, Canelo, Ryan, Tio, Munguia, T.O. ostracizing himself and already got his own problems right now. Ain't getting no big fight no matter what he's been doing. And what he's been doing has been backfiring, like I told you. And on top of the fact, Ryan Garcia, he's willing to take on anybody. But currently locked up with Devin Haney, most likely, or I'm not even going to say most likely, if he does beat him, and that did transpire, hey, he would do it. Munguia would definitely do it, but would he got to get past Saras first to be seen as another credible threat after getting knocked out by Saras the first time. A brother we never thought would knock out the likes of Munguia with who Munguia is. But they are viable names, and of course Canelo is Canelo. Again, so it's like possible. It's possible. He's got the stable to do it. But it's a matter of would it happen. And we just have to wait and see. If it did, all the better. And we'd love to see it. Trust me, he has a squad that would do that. And so let's see. What the WB Cage, I don't even know how to say that, but good 10. I look crazy. Well, maybe I do. It's because we bring in some crazy news. I appreciate you tuning in. WBJ, I'm sorry, I'm trying to pronounce it correctly. I don't even know. We'll say WBKJC. Sounds like a radio station. But you sound like a station identification type tag. WBKJC 740 FM. Hey, ain't bad. Maybe we should start that. But anyway, appreciate you tuning in. I may look crazy. Maybe I'm too close to the camera. Let me back up a little bit. My God, we getting some breaking news. And again, for those of you who don't know, if you're just tuning in and you don't know why we're talking about all this stuff, understand. Not this one. No, this is my notes for the show. Hold on. There we go. If you didn't know, just recapping for those new here, Daniel Dubois is potentially off the card for fighting against Joseph Parker. And everybody is in some serious danger. He's being evaluated. We're looking and we're updating right now. Potentially we'll see some news break out. I'm waiting and I'm hoping that we see Daniel Dubois indeed be deemed healthy or healthy enough to be able to continue fighting. And let's see. Oh, hold on. Wait, we got another update 26 minutes ago. Lawrence Shakur, David Adelaide, and Murad Aliyev are among the options considered for a potential placement for Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker if Parker can't fight. Now, okay, all right. So we got some. Is there anything else? Okay, yeah, there's anything else. Also, real quick, for this, just quick side note aside, why in the world did they use this picture of Mike Tyson? Why? Why would they do this? Out of everything that they could have used, why do the worst version of Mike as the picture that they used for this comparing eras thing? Just disrespect outright, but that's a whole nother thing. My apologies. But anyway, the biggest thing now, let's talk about it, shall we? Let's get into it. Now that we're here, we're still getting updates. We got Lawrence Okogie, David Adelaide, or Murad Aliyev as potential options. If we saw this fight indeed fall through, who would you want to have on the card? Just a question for you all. If you had it, again, the names: Lawrence Okogie, David Adelaide, Murad Aliyev. 3 options to replace Dubois. If you had your pick, who would you have to replace it? I would hope, genuinely, potentially, David Adelaide got knocked out by Fabio Wardley. So you probably lose. Maybe Lawrence Okogie, because of his success at cruiserweight, coming at the heavyweight face-off against Joseph Parker. Hey, would be interesting to see. But again, that's a whole other conversation. But I'd love to hear what you all's thoughts are. But let's see what you all in the comments are having to say. Cause my gosh, we got a whole subject to no. Okay, so excuse me. No. Okay, so we got a correction. No, neither Canelo nor T.O. are with Golden Boy at this point in time. Okay, excuse me. Actually, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. T.O.'s been independent, going and trying to decide with different promotions. Was with Golden Boy, then went with Top Rank, then had a problem with Top Rank, and is now, yes, he is independent. And Canelo had a fallout with the likes of Golden Boy. Doesn't like Oscar De La Hoya at all. That relationship fizzled out and got dirty real quick. You're right. Excuse me. I'm so sorry for misremembering. You're absolutely right. And now he's been fighting essentially as his own independent thing. So you're absolutely right. So again, appreciate the correction. Again, it's okay. We're all trying to again, this shocking news got us all trying to remember and get our faculties back in order. We're here to learn, we're here to grow, and you educate me on stuff I forget or don't know, as well as I'm trying to educate you all and give you all the best opinions and resources possible to be as informed of a fan and as fanatical of a fan as you can. So hey, we're working together on this. So I appreciate everybody taking time and correcting if things are corrected. I got no problem being wrong. I love being wrong because then I can be right. That's all I want to be. And so thank goodness. And so shoot. Carlos is stable, or Canelo stable versus Garcia stable. Oh, Canelo versus Garcia stable. That wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be bad. Okay, so T.O. still with Top Rank. Canelo is independent. T.O., I think, wanted out of his contract, but hasn't gotten out of it yet. And so, yeah, so again, the behind the scenes, the business side of boxing is indeed on the up and up. Virgil Wines, Zerudo, and Gabby Fundora are my Golden Boy fight. That's a really good Golden Boy fight. If they use that lineup and had a women's fight, that ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. That's really good. Didn't Gabby Fundora win Female Fighter of the Year, becoming undisputed in what was one of the quickest times ever? Not just in women's boxing, but in boxing history. Oh, ridiculous. So Sebastian and his sister are both champions, and she's undisputed. That she's a dog. Oh, she's absolutely a dog. Oh yeah, that would be good. That would be really good. That would shoot. Put that against just about anybody's stable, but that's giving everybody work. That's giving everybody some real hot contested action. Oh gosh. Maybe I think I underestimated the likes of what that stable can be. Shoot. My gosh. Yeah, that's good. That's quality. That is indeed quality. But let's see. Oh boy, we got shoot. Hold on. Okay, so she did one. All right. Okay, so we're good. But beyond this, again, we still have a show to do. Even though all this is still shaking and moving, we still got a show that we got to cover. Let's jump into some of the topics of the day, so we can at least do some of the stuff that we had to offer. And again, still would love to hear your thoughts on what you would want to have for a potential replacement for Daniel Dubois. If you had your choice and potentially need to be made today, would you want Lawrence Okogie? Would you want David Adelaide? Or would you want Alieve as your fighter to face off against Joseph Barker? If I had to choose, probably Adelaide or Lawrence Okogie. But hoping and praying that we don't see that actually transpire, and we don't need that to happen in the slightest. And it can just be straight up that we get the fight that we want back again. That's all I'm asking for. Please, don't let this happen. Because if it does, you have a lot of angry fans and you have a lot of disappointed people. And I'm going to be updating as time goes on the show. But again, let's jump into the world of what we have on this show. Like with the shoot, well, I think what you all wanted to click on, doggone it, is exactly what we got to talk about. Let's talk about now. I'll give you the option. You want to talk about Tank or you want to talk about Shakur? And both of them need to be discussed. Shakur with the replacement fighting against Josh Padley, even though it's not Floyd Schofield, what do we need to see? Or do you want to talk about Gervonta Davis saying that he would fight the likes of Devin Haney now as a legitimate option? And whatever y'all want to discuss, we can go through it first and foremost. In fact, I may not even need to ask y'all because of the fact that, doggone it, we are the bigger shock, more than just the fight being canceled for Shakur, is the fact that Tank is willing to fight Devin Haney, potentially at his own weight class. So shoot, I think I answered my own question. Let's jump into the action, shall we? Let's get into it. Talking about Gervonta Davis, and now what he has said about Devin Haney, there has been legitimate, I believe it in a recent interview, we got to see Tank Davis genuinely say he would be willing to fight the likes of Devin Haney, depending on how Devin Haney looks against Ryan Garcia in their rematch. If he looks good, or even if he loses and puts up a good fight, he will be willing to fight at 140, potentially 147. I believe that fight is sanctioned at somewhere between 140 and 145, or somewhere between 140 and 147. So since that's the case, hey, Could this now answer the very question we've been looking for Tank to answer? How far can you push yourself? And is this a legitimate thing to look forward to? That we could potentially see Ryan, or excuse me, not Ryan, we could potentially see Tank finally fight at the challenging weight class and push himself to show just how great he really is. Is this finally the crescendo we've been looking for? Is this actually going to happen? Is it actually going to happen? We have to ask it. Is this actually real? And so, if it is this going to be the start of finally, in the last 3 fights, getting exactly what we've been asking for from the likes of Tank in a competitive affair? Let's see what you all have to say. And again, I'm trying to find the interview as I'm talking with you all. So excuse me for some of the pauses, but let's see what you had to say. What you had to say. Let's see. Let's see. Oh boy. Okay, Rich Cage, I got you. By the way, he talks and Bob talks, and I assume he has 1 or 2 more fights with them. Okay, I think we're talking about. I believe talking about Tio. Over. But let me make sure. Well, let me make sure. Let me make sure we are talking about. Okay, I think we're either you talking about Tio or Canelo. Well, I think Tio, but either way, regardless of which, excuse me, let me get out of y'all's conversation. Let's get to the conversation that we doing. Rusty Cage, I don't believe anything Tank says. Valid, incredibly valid. I get it wholeheartedly. Everything that Tank's been saying about him being the face of boxing, him being the big dog, and him being one of the best in the world, while from a talent perspective, is real. From a production perspective, we've talked about this before. We can't stand the brother. We're tired of this man having the mouth to say everything that he is without proving and validating all that to be true. Everything about Tank up until this point, within the last 3 years, outside of the Ryan Garcia fight, has been hypocrisy. We've said it. We've covered it. We know this. It's been hypocrisy. It's always been hypocrisy. And it's not because I'm trying to hate on Tank. This is the reality of the situation. Tank has been backtracking and stepping over his own words constantly throughout his entire career and talking about himself in a manner that he hasn't proved himself yet in the first place. Now, with all that being said, while this is a legitimate situation where even though I get the hesitation, I understand that you don't trust him. I don't trust him. But what we can say is that out and out, this is one of the most blatant things this is one of the most blatant situations that we've seen him say, yeah, I'll fight him. If he looks good against Ryan Garcia, I'll get in the ring with him. Normally he's just been, he ain't big enough. I'll beat him. There's no point in me trying. He doesn't have the cachet. He's a boring fighter. That's normally the rhetoric that we hear from the likes of Tank, as well as from Canelo and others. But that's the normal rhetoric. All talk, I'll beat you, ain't nothing you can do, but you ain't worth my time. That's what's normally been with Tank. This sounds a little bit different though. This sounds a little bit more hopeful from the standpoint of the fans who want to see Tank be the best that he can be. And again, as much as I, may talk about Tank seemingly in a negative light, I'm not talking about him negatively. I'm a fan of his, but I need to see that brother produce like his actual talent can actually produce and live up to the expectations of what his actual ability are, or of what his actual abilities are. And since he hasn't, hold the feet to the fire. That's all we've been doing. But now, let's say this does indeed happen. This means more than just fighting Devin Haney. This opens up the door to finally get the exact test we've been looking for. What do I mean? Well, I'll explain that after I go and read some of your comments. I think Tio has to show something this next fight because to me, he's declining and his power and his legs even stop. Oh gosh, hold on, excuse me, something fell. My apologies, excuse me. There we go. Okay. I think, let's see, okay, so excuse me. Let me read this again. I think Tio has to show something in his next fight because to me, shoot, what's going on? My gosh. I think Tio has to show something this next fight because to me, he's declining. His power in his legs, he even stopped doing his backflips. He is getting older. Let's not forget, Father Time stops for no one. Even with somebody as athletically gifted as the likes of Teofimo Lopez. And also at the same time, remember the last couple wins have not been, or excuse me, beating Steve Claggett, beating Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor was great. Steve Claggett, people had some concern about. But before that, Sandro Martin, Cambosos, and others wasn't looking great for the buddy. It was nothing to back flip over. So it could be age, or it could be that he's still trying to, he's more grounded now. Now, we say that, and then he goes, monkey banana, sabotage, potentially being the culprit behind the sabotaging of Keyshawn Davis, and the whole sending the racist box and all this stuff. All this stuff that he's been doing, ostracizing himself from Keyshawn, from Tank, from most likely from Crawford, and any other black fighter that he's looking to get a big payday from. Because the whole rhetoric is targeting that specific group of people. So I say grounded with heavy quotations. But in terms of inside the ring, grounded is more applicable to what I'm trying to say. But let's also see. Haney won't accept the rehydration clause. No, he won't. He won't. He probably won't. But even if he did, it would probably not be nearly as egregious as it was at 135 for like Ryan Garcia, him struggling to make weight against Devin Haney. And let's say, hypothetically, let's play skeptic, shall we? With this fight, if he fights them at the weight class that they're at right now, in terms of Gervonta Davis, fights the likes of Devin Haney, where Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney are fighting at right now, which again is above 140, I believe. In fact, let me check and make sure. I believe is it 140 or 147 that Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia are fighting it against? Garcia 2. Let me make sure, because if it's what I think, okay. Okay. So yeah, so it's 147. So if it is at 147. And Devin Haney, even if there was a rehydration clause. Okay, yep, you validated it. I just looked it up. 147. It would fight at 147. Contracted for the contract. If it was indeed a situation where they fought, I don't think, do you think that Tank would have that level of control in that weight class to be able to go and put a rehydration clause? Yes, we know he's one of the most powerful people in boxing, but now moving up to that weight, it's not his class. You know what I'm saying? This is a new dimension that now you fighting with the big boys. Maybe just me. You're going to have to force to fight us in our own element. Even Ryan Garcia said if he ever fought against Gervonta Davis again, he wouldn't take a rehydration clause. So the fight is still big enough to happen between Tank and Devin Haney. But I don't think Tank is going to be able to have that ability to put rehydration clauses in there anymore, especially with the public reaction that would come about if he did. Just with Ryan Garcia and Tank alone, there's still to this day so much flack for that fight. Because yes, the knockout was real. The performance was great on the side of Tank. But relegated to the back burner that turned into the forefront was he's coming in, holding the brother down to 135. Can't even let him get to a healthy weight. And fought him with a broke rib. All this other stuff surrounding the fight muddied what that performance was to some degree in a lot of people's eyes. With Devin Haney now fighting at 147. Yes, though he got destroyed by Ryan Garcia. Yes, though he got thrown out into a no contest. We still have to look and say that fight is still too big not to happen. And because of that, and because of that, on top of with the backlash that we've seen already with rehydration clauses, like with Frank Martin, like potentially with the likes of Lamont Welch, although I don't think there's a rehydration clause on Lamont Welch, just the fact that you're fighting somebody at 130, coming up to 135, when you have no business. You don't need a rehydration clause, so you can't rehydrate up to that level, potentially, hypothetically. So, the public may not let that happen. The public opinion may not let that slide and genuinely could hinder, if that fight did take place, for a rehydration clause to occur. Hypothetically. Again, we're playing skeptic. Don't know. But this is something to think about at minimum. But let's see. By then, Devin Haney will grow to 172 plus. Hey, shoot. He would. He definitely would. He would shoot. We've seen. I wouldn't be surprised. Because again, the biggest thing about Devin Haney is the fact that he can fight and be bigger than all of his opponents. Though he ain't got power. Physically, he's a big brother. That's undeniable. Physical attributes coupled with his boxing fundamentals have been one of the biggest reasons why he's been so successful. Specifically, his size. Now, like with Ryan Garcia, talked about it before, you match him in size, you can take half of that equation away. And because he can't crack you, now work to overwhelm him. So what Ryan Garcia did. Then bing, bang, boom, you can handle him. If you can out-physical the likes of Devin Haney, you can beat him. And with Tank, even though Tank would be on a smaller end, I still think he would be able to beat him. Even though he would be undermanned when it came to the likes of fighting at an elevated weight, quote unquote, on the whatchamacallit, the underdog per se, from that perspective. But no, based on what I see about with Devin Haney of recent, yeah, oh yeah, you could get him out of there if they did fight. But we just want to see the fight, and I think we would see it. And this is what we fight them, beat them where they're comfortable, and then boom. Show how great you are. That's all we're asking from Tank. And potentially, we're getting closer to that than we may have all expected. The train has passed for this fight. It has. Don't get me wrong. It's nowhere close to what it used to be. Absolutely. That's not a question in the slightest. The fight, what it could have been, would have been incredible. Or would have been phenomenal. Would have been stupendous. However, now, it's lost a lot of its luster. Just like with Wilder versus AJ. Or AJ versus Fury. And other big-time fights that we were looking to see make happen that never actually transpired or were too late in the game. It's lost a lot of its luster, especially with how we saw Ryan Garcia manhandle the likes of Devin Haney. But regardless of which, it's still a fight that people would want to see. It's still a fight that people need to see. It's still a fight that people clamor for. Simply because of who Devin Haney is, just at minimum. And his skill set, even though what we saw happened to him, it did happen. His skill set is still good to be like, okay, yeah, you belong in the ring with Tank. One loss, like we said before, doesn't negate what you are. One loss doesn't break you. It may help put you in a different context, but it doesn't break you. And we still want to see that fight. I still want to see that fight. If anything, just to say, I saw the fight happen. Doesn't have the same level of luster. Doesn't have the same level of shine. Ain't got the same level of competitive edge. Yes, no question. But it still does need to happen. And I would love to see it happen. Let's see. Where there is, good gosh, I don't know what's going on with me today. I don't know why I can't read some of these comments. I feel like I'm thinking faster. Probably because I'm multitasking, switching between tabs, checking for any updates on not just the boxing landscape, but also with the Daniel Dubois situation, as well as trying to read. Let me slow down a little bit. Where there is confusion and conspiracies, there is a lot of money to be made for good rematches. Absolutely. So serious. Wilder's conspiracies about Fury made the lust for the rematch. Oftentimes, I'm not saying all of them are false. There's been many situations where it's been real. But genuinely, some situations are fighters use this conspiracy theory and outlandish type statements, outlandish type sentiments to get there and galvanize their fans to be able to make them want to see them back in the ring. Get more money and get excitement. Yeah, like you said, for the rematch. Makes it for something for people to latch on to. It makes it something for people to hold on as, okay, there's a reason why. There's a reason why Fury beat Wilder. And it wasn't because of skill. Couldn't have been. Because the brother's too strong. Greatest right hand we've seen in boxing history. How in the world could Tyson Fury, somebody who is fat, out of shape, looking like he looks, go and beat the likes of this monstrous behemoth, the Bronze Bomber himself, let alone knock him out? We've never seen Deontay Wilder get manhandled like that. How could this be? Egg-shaped form, wrist, back of his glove, all these different stuff. It's bad. But it helps make you invested. Hits. Okay. Something must have happened. Let's see what the world draws of interest, hence why it's used. Oftentimes, just like with the fact of race baiting and others, all of this helps make fights have a story, have some level of tension, add to the plot. The fight itself is the climax. The resolution is the result. But the plot and the rising action, doggone it, is, in fact, the story of the fight, the build-up, the context, everything surrounding what, in fact, makes this fight so dangerous, competitive, interesting, or indeed potentially lackluster. Even the likes of Tank versus Lamont Welch, that has a story because of the fact that it genuinely, we're gonna watch that fight because of how lopsided it is, to validate, hey, you're fighting somebody you ain't got no business being in the ring with because you are way above his talent level and you don't need to fight anybody below your weight level. And if this is, dare I say, if we see you struggle in any way against this type of opponent, stories to be had. If you knock him out like we think you're going to knock him out, well, now that further pushes the other story of where are you going to go for your last two fights to make your legacy cemented. Because if you don't do anything after this, your legacy is going to it's going to start falling back. Not going to start, it's already has. So that's the thing. Canelo versus Triple G. That first fight had a story. All of it. It's story. First and second one. It was great. Loved it. Phenomenal. But every fight has a story. And the conspiracies, cheating, all this different stuff, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Austrian and all, that whole saga has built up that fight to be one of the most anticipated fights come May. Because we all want to see, okay, is Devin Haney real about this? Or was it a fluke? Or that it was a fluke? Or it was legitimate that the budget got beat to Kingdom Come? And so, yeah, that's what we're going to see. Let's see. Oh, Jay Will. Let's see. Daniel Dubois. Let's see. Jay Will, how you doing? Good to see you. Appreciate you tuning in to the show. Thanks so much for coming through. Daniel Dubois versus Dubois and Kid Arson are off the card. Oh, is this official? Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Is this indeed official? We got some people saying it's official. Let's see. I'm looking through the story. As of right now, looking on Matchroom Boxing, not Matchroom, excuse me, the Ring Magazine, which I found to be one of the most reputable up until this point. It's wait a minute. Also, again, appreciate you joining in, J. Will. Glad that you're here. We're all trying to react to Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker, potentially getting axed, hypothetically. And so now, it's official. It's official. It's official. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I've been doing my due diligence. This is why I need a team. This is why I need a team. I've been doing my due diligence, trying to make sure I'm as up to date as possible. Refreshing every couple of minutes, trying to make sure, is it real? Let me make sure. Let me validate. Everybody's saying it's real. Let me go through it and be sure that this is indeed the real situation. Not Victor. I don't know what not Victor Wembanyama. Let me see. Let me pull it up right now. Let's see. Looking up. Latest is what's the latest? I'm looking. All right now. Right now, I'm not seeing anything different. Wait. Hold on. Maybe out is out. I'm getting a mixed bag. I can't find anything telling me concretely that he's gone, but I'm also not getting anything that's saying he ain't gone. Everything it's been. Yep, IBF. Okay, Ring Magazine ain't updated nothing. Dubois out. Shoot. Dubois out. Dubois still in limbo. Dubois out. Dubois in limbo. I'm completely honest. I'm not. Y'all may be right. Shoot. I'm looking at It was Boxing and Barbecue. I'm looking at Ring Magazine. I'm looking at every other like legitimate, reputable, consistent source on Twitter and beyond. And also searching Fight Scene and others. I'm trying to validate. It may actually be off. Shoot, y'all might be right. Y'all might be right. I believe Parker already got a replacement opponent. Yep, Wemby. Oh no! Wait, no. This is okay. Wait a minute. This is a lot. Wait a second. What's going on with Victor? Wait a minute. No. Victor's out too, brother. Wait a second. Hold on. I just glossed over Victor Wembanyama. I didn't even look at what was going on. What do you mean? He's out? Wait a second. Hold on 1 minute. There's no way. Victor Wembanyama expected to miss the remainder of the season with a deep. You gotta be doggone it, Jim Ross.
Hey, look at this. We got some problems here.
Oh no. It's just. What is going on? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to keep my cool. But every time we going through, again, if you're new here, we talk about boxing. We talk about basketball. We talk about the whole of the sports world. And I'm learning everything right now, left, right, and center. We got to contextualize some stuff. My goodness, hold on. There's so much news going on right now. This is why I love doing this, but I hate the news that's coming out. Wemby's gone with essentially a blood clot in his shoulder, out for the season after having a defensive player of the year, not even contending. He was going to win it. This brother was going to be probably all NBA by the end of all NBA first team, defensive player of the year, most likely would have been all NBA second team, potentially first team with the way he would have, I believe, turned up even more into the second half of the season. But at minimum, all NBA third team, he was going to be there. But what? Just an all-star. What are the odds? Something's in the. Let's see. Oh boy, the Red Hawk is out too. He lost to a human. There's no way he has a chance against Green Hawk. Against Banner, Red Hawk is done. Oh no, that brother got talked down by Captain Falcon. Also, I got to see that movie. You know what? Maybe if y'all want, I can give a quick movie review. And once we get into the championship rounds. Oh, by the way, if you don't know, if you're new here, we have this thing called the championship rounds. Which, when you hear the sound of the bell, it's your time to shine. Whatever you want to discuss, whether it's movies, sports, NBA, basketball, boxing, or just whatever you have on your mind, we can talk about it right here on the show. But again, that's at the end of the show for the championship rounds. We'll put a whole banner up and bring it up. But we'll talk about the movie later. My gosh, why did you get to see it? It was good. Hey, people said it wasn't great. I thought it was good, but I'll give my own thoughts on it later on. You may disagree. You may disagree. My gosh, don't kill me for it, please. But people were saying it was going to be bad. And I was pleasantly surprised when I went to see the film. But that's a whole other, but we'll talk about that later on in the show. Right now, we gotta work. Let's keep it to sports real quick. Because we ain't even got to talk about Shakur Stevenson. And what we need to see from him against Josh Padley. We're still on Tank Davis fighting the likes of Devin Haney. Hypothetically. Do you think he would even take that risk, or is he talking? Let's get your thoughts on it right now. Rusty Cage said he's lying, that he doesn't trust him. We got the likes of others saying, oh, this could be real. I'm thinking this could be legitimate because we've never heard him be this blunt about actually stepping in the ring with the likes of Devin Haney. And could Devin Haney be one of the two people in the last fights of his career? And if that does indeed happen, how much credit will he get for it? And hopefully it should be good. A good amount of credit. Ain't gonna be what it could have been before Devin Haney got beat, with regards to which it's better than what we had. Definitely better than what we had. And real quick, didn't want to touch on what I had talked about earlier. And again, we'll talk about Wemby and all that stuff as well, because all this stuff is breaking right now. But you got to stay on topic. When we look at Tank now, with him now being open and aptly out now, saying he's willing to fight the likes of Devin Haney depending on his performance. Now, if that indeed is true, what held him back from fighting the other good champions at 140 or 147? What held him back? If this is now what he's talking about when he was, because remember, previously, we had talked about it on the show. Tank was comfortable fighting at 135. Said he was uncomfortable fighting at 147. He said himself that the brother did not want to move up. He said it was an unfair advantage for him to have to move up. And all this stuff. And it's a shoot. Y'all really didn't like the movie. My gosh. My goodness. Shoot. We'll talk about it later. We gotta stay on top. We will talk about it later though. Cause maybe I'm just in the minority in this situation. But I'm not saying it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. No. I'm not saying it's Infinity War Endgame. I'm not saying it's a top 10 Marvel movie in the history of the MCU. But I don't think it was bad in the slightest in terms of just terrible. At least from my standpoint. But we'll talk about it later. We will touch back. We will wrap around to it. Absolutely. But regardless of which, why is it that now Tank is talking when we could have had the same rhetoric earlier on? If he was this willing to go and fight an opponent that looked like they were up to par, why in the world didn't you do this when everybody else was looking good at their division or a division above you? When Devin Haney was running from 140, why didn't you fight him looking like the best thing since sliced bread when he beat the likes of Beatrice Progress? Why didn't you fight Teofimo Lopez after he beat Josh Taylor? Why didn't that happen? Why? Now it brings so many questions. Why didn't you fight the likes of if you're now willing to move up to 147 to fight the likes of Devin Haney if he does look good up there? Like, you could have done this. You could have fought. Shoot, Richardson Hitchens beat Liam Paro, who beat the likes of doggone Subriel Matias. When we were all saying Subriel Matias was a killer, literally and figuratively. And now, we all knew you would have beat him. That would have been at least an easy belt to win. They would have given you a lot of credit. Why is it that you are now open to doing it, but you couldn't have done it when it was at its peak, when it would have made even more money for you? From a business standpoint, why are you now being open to these fights? From a business perspective, why are you now being open to these types of things when they're not even at the most highest of caliber? It's frustrating. It's really frustrating. We're happy that you're starting to change your tune. We're happy that you're now thinking in the standpoint of this is what we want. You're happy that you're not operating the way I've been asking you to operate for upwards of a year and a half now. When it comes to you fighting legitimate, competitive, challenging competition that is at or above your skill level or physical capabilities to show what your boxing acumen really is about. That's all we wanted. That's all we've been asking. It's the bare minimum. Some people may call me a hater. Some people were saying I dogged on their favorite fighter. I don't dog on Tank. Tank set the standard for himself for what he should be able to achieve. And that brother hasn't done a doggone thing. And has seemingly been running from the people that can validate his claims, validate his talent, validate his skill set, put a stamp on his actual ability, and prove he is indeed one of the 3 best in the world. More than just us saying it. More than just us having our feelings about it. We can believe what we see, but doggone it, I can say a sword is sharp. But but the only way I can be for sure that sword is sharp is because I've seen it cut something that is indeed hard to cut. Not a sliver of paper, not just a doggone flimsy piece of cardboard, but bamboo, multiple sticks. I've seen it cleave a man in 2. I've seen it cut something and there's a hesitation before the actual thing actually slides apart, like we see in anime and in movies all the time. That's the proof that proves to me that, yes, the sword is sharp. But you got to have some proof behind your claims, some proof behind just the look. A car can look fast and be slow as dirt. But a slow Volvo, if it's tuned right, can outrun a lot of cars that you would expect. Because the performance is what matters. And with Tank, he's had the performance, but it hasn't been against competition that is quality. To prove that performance is more than just, this is what should have happened. Now, you got tested against somebody that can actually run with you, and you beat them. Now that's impressive. Now we can have something to talk about. Now you got some credentials that we can put on display and say, yeah, this brother good. That's all we want to do. Rather than just having to keep on saying the notion of you are just talented because you're talented. You got to show it. You got to show it. That's all we're asking for. Let's see. Tank fought tougher fighters than Haney and Shakur. Now, see, no. Now, again, LW, appreciate you tuning in. Glad that you're here. Absolutely. But here's the thing. Tank's best wins, we talked about this before. People in the chat that have been here, they can validate. I've said this, and we've all agreed with this. Tank's best wins, in no particular order: Leo Santa Cruz, Pedraza, Ryan Garcia, and I put Frank Martin in there because of who I value Frank Martin as. And he was and still is a good fighter. Those are some of the best wins of his career, with the best outright being Ryan Garcia. That's not a question. It's not a question. He beat the Garcia and beat some others at 130, 135, 126 as well. Coming up, understandable. But those are his best quality wins. None of those are better than Lomachenko. None of those. Again, Devin Haney fought Loma and Ryan Garcia and Kambosos, who just beat the likes of Teofimo Lopez. Now, I'm not saying Kambosos is great, but at that point in time, he beat the man who beat the brother that was formerly undisputed and had just beaten the number one pound for pound best in the world. And so it's like, and fought him a second time. And when Kambosos was at the heights. Again, what we know now, yes, but context at that point in time, it was good. Devin Haney became undisputed. Devin Haney moved up to 140 and fought Regis Prograis. On average, his performance in terms of talent-wise has been of a higher caliber. We have never said anything about Devin Haney outside of he ain't got no power, outside of the suing, and outside of him getting mauled by Ryan Garcia. We ain't said a thing because that brother genuinely was taking on every test imaginable. Him and Ryan Garcia are the only people that have taken on each other, or two of the 4 and or 5 kings of boxing, which is what that whole group was heralded as. Tank, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Lomachenko. Tank, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Lomachenko. Tank, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Lomachenko. Tio. Yeah, those 5. They've at least taken on Tank and each other. Ryan Garcia is taking on Lomachenko and Ryan Garcia. Excuse me. Ryan Garcia is taking on Tank and Devin Haney. Devin Haney's taking on Ryan Garcia and Lomachenko. And so and then again, beat the man who beat Kambosos, became undisputed, legitimately ran that whole division. Before we got to see Shakur become a legitimate, big time star and the threat that he is now. So it wasn't like Shakur was on the scene to that degree yet. Yes, he was still a multi-time champion, but even still, he wasn't at this level yet, where he was like, okay, yeah, now you're at 135. Yeah, he's arrived. Let's see what he can do against the rest, the best of the rest. He did it. On average, he's done more quality work throughout his entire career. This is not saying that he's better. This is saying that he hasn't done enough. He hasn't done nearly as much, especially in more recent events, compared to where his skill level should be. That's just an undeniable truth. We've all talked about it. Lomachenko didn't become the best in the world by just being touted as such. That brother ran through the entirety of the division and was taking on big hitter after big hitter after big hitter. Again, losing to Tio, yes, but still taking on quality opponents. And so it's like, nah. And does Tank have a better resume than Shakur? Sure, because he's fought longer. But even in the short time that Shakur has fought, he fought Jamal Herring, he fought Oscar Valdez. Again, knocked out Yoshino. Didn't beat. It was a terrible win, but beat Leo Santa Cruz, who is indeed a good fighter. He's not a bum. He's not. Can't cut off the ring, but the brother ain't a bum, and beat him with a broken hand. running, being as limited offensively as possible. It was a terrible performance. We have to give some credit. It was indeed. Everybody can't do that. That's the whole truth. And genuinely, in the short amount of time, has become a 3-division champion and has been one of the biggest, brightest stars, young stars in boxing, because he's gone step for step, taking on legitimate tests around his skill level or slightly above that have been necessary. And it's like it's time to face him. He faced him and he beat him. And so I can't even say that. And he's got more title wins than Tank has. Again, Tank's a 3-time champion. Jamal Herring, Valdez, and the champion. Who did he beat at 135? Dang, I can't remember who he beat at 135. But he got all of his belts, I believe, legitimately. Not discrediting Tank or anybody else for getting a belt sanctioned by the belt commissions handed to them. But Tank didn't beat anybody for the belt that he got at 135. He didn't. He defended it, but he didn't beat anybody. And so it's like his resume with 2 fights can be so much better. But he hasn't taken any of those fights that make us look at him and say, yeah, oh, you're better than him. I've said it multiple times. Devin Haney has done more and has a better resume than the likes of Tank. Because he does. He's undisputed. Like, that in and of itself, brother, I beat everybody that had every belt in my division. That has to mean something. It has to mean something. More than just, I got a lot of knockouts. It's got to. The constant elevated level of competition is indeed on average higher for Devin Haney. It was. And still is. If it wasn't, then I wouldn't be having this conversation. Because, yeah, Tank would be everything that we said, and the resume would back it up. But the fact that it doesn't, and the fact that we have to argue Tank up to the level of a resume of a Devin Haney, or argue him up to the level of a Shakur Stevenson, should show you exactly where Tank's resume is truly, which is not highly touted. Because it's not worth a whole lot. Because the names stopped. They stopped. The challenge stopped. He should easily be undisputed. He should easily be 135 champion. He should easily be undisputed at 140. There should be an argument. He should be fighting Boots Ennis right now. Not Boots Ennis, excuse me, that's at 147. He should be fighting Tio right now for the undisputed title. Because he should have all the other belts in the division. He should be fighting Shakur Stevenson or Keyshawn Davis for the undisputed title right now. Because he should be a unified champion right now. He should be. But he ain't. He should have already fought Lomachenko, but he didn't. And we already covered why. In that whole timeline. We've done that on this show. You can go back and look up past episodes. We did it. We did it. We absolutely did it. Broke it down and all. This is not me hating. This is legitimate. Tank does not have the resume fitting his caliber. And because of that, I can't put him above these people in terms of resume and quality opponents. At least for my money. Again, with all due respect. And so let's see. We still got a lot of people. We still got a lot of people in a lot of trouble. Not a lot of trouble. We got a lot of people commenting a lot. Shoot, we got a lot of people commenting. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, shoot. Okay, wait, hold. Let's go back through this. Let's go back through this real quick. Only good fighter Haney fought is Loma and Ryan. Again, mind you, he also fought Jorge Linares at Linares' prime. Let's not forget that. Again, we can't overlook what Kambosos was at the time that he did indeed fight him. We can't overlook what Prograis was when he was a champion, when he was one of the biggest punchers at 140, and we were saying Devin Haney can't crack for nothing. All of a sudden, Regis Prograis, who I believe had never been down in his career. If he hadn't, he'd only been down once against another heavy-handed puncher, but I believe he had never been down. Knocked that brother down twice and was rocking him to Kingdom Come. All of a sudden proved something about him that we didn't think he had in the slightest. And you don't go and beat Lomachenko as just for nothing. And so it's like the whole of his resume, it's good. It is indeed good. So he's not the only brother, he's not the only good fighter that he's beaten. And from what I can see, from what I know, not from what I can see, from what I know, he's not the only good fighter that he's beaten. Not in the slightest, not in the slightest. You put my point. All good fighters plus Barrios. I almost forgot about Barrios. Okay, Barrios. And if anything, the fact that he beat Barrios, and you're right, I left out Barrios. The fact that he beat Barrios in terms of Tank and still did not continue to campaign at 140, and all of his confidants did and pushed themselves further, and then didn't even handle the business that he had in his own division. It's a problem. So again, we'll go back to Ryan Garcia, Barrios, Pedraza, Leo Santa Cruz. 4 best wins in his resume. And Frank Martin, but distant fit. Still good, but distant fit. And after fighting Barrios, which was at that point in time the most physically toughest test, and knocking him out, he stopped. Like it was that, then it was Ryan Garcia, then it was nothing. And it was an up and down career of quality and then nothing. Quality and then nothing. And recently of 3 fights, it's been nothing and then a good fighter. Not great, not elite, good in Frank Martin. Good, not great, good in Frank Martin. Could give you some trouble, but wasn't elite. No, we knew that about Frank. I was trying to make sure that people weren't devaluing Frank. I was trying to help Tank's resume by saying that Frank was indeed a good fighter. Don't let the loss all of a sudden make Frank Martin a bum, which indeed is still true. Doesn't change the fact that on average, outside of Pedraza, which now some people are saying that brother was, or not Pedraza, Leo Santa Cruz, now some people are saying he was weight drained. Pedraza also weight drained. Somebody, which boxer said? Somebody, was it Terrence Crawford, I believe, in that same interview that I showed you last Tuesday, talking about Tank and why he didn't like him. That same interview, you can go look it up right now. Talks about how against Pedraza wasn't up to snuff in that fight as well. And so it's like now even that win has some litigation that needs to be figured out about when it came to the actual ability as well as physical capabilities of Pedraza. Because potentially he was weight drained in that fight too. Then bringing up Leo Santa Cruz up from a very small weight class up to your weight class to go and fight. Again, put you at another advantage. Leo Santa Cruz was smaller. I still value the win as a good win because it was a good win because it was a great fight, but regardless of which. No. Almost every good win with Tank had some level of concern. Almost every good win has some level of something wasn't just right. Something was off. Something was going on. Weight drain issues, injuries, bringing somebody up, all of that. Something was amiss. Or something put a damper on it for valid reasons. That's literally go through all of his big wins. Something was said about the context about the fight. Something was. Almost every single big fight in Tank's career. That's a problem, is it not? And it's not like out of his control. In his control. It was still, stuff was put into question. The validity of the wins were put into question. Terrence Crawford and others saying that Tank has gotten to where he is because he's incredibly savvy. Again, not just echoing the thoughts of taking on tests or not taking on tests to prove it, but also moving like he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but not actually proving it inside of the ring. Saying that the likes of 154, 147, 140, he'll never fight unless he can pick the opponent. Again, in his own control. If it's not in his control in a legitimate test, brother ain't fighting. That's what has been for almost all of Tank's career. Everything was not just in his control, but something about the fight had a damper on what the outcome was. Something about it was off in some level of capacity. And it's not like fake claims or conspiracies either. No, it's real. Valid situations. Just like we're talking about now. Weight cut, weight drain, no rehydration ability, or injury. One of those situations come up. Or bringing somebody up for a smaller division. That's almost every single one of Gervonta Davis's wins. You can apply one of those 4 or 5 stipulations to it. Asterisks, per se. That's what you can do. Again, I love Tank, but we got to be real about this. We can't let mediocrity slide when the brother's being mediocre. We can't let that happen. I feel you. I think Ryan is better than Lomachenko. Well, I strongly disagree. That's a bold-faced lie. That's an absolute bold-faced lie. I'm sorry. I can't rock with you there. I can't rock with you. Ryan Garcia was never the best pound for pound in the world. Ryan Garcia ain't never made 4 people quit. Ryan Garcia ain't never, and I mean never, been so savvy of a boxer that even Tank respected him. He ain't never been that. Oh, no. No. Ryan Garcia, I love him. But as a talent, no. Nowhere close to the likes of Lomachenko. Nowhere close to the likes of Lomachenko. I respectfully disagree. Frank Martin is a better fighter than Regis. Again, both of them, Regis at that point in time was a champion and genuinely seen as a real problem at 140. Contextually, he was valued higher, and rightfully so. And he actually had a belt, unlike Frank Martin, who still hadn't gotten a belt, who wasn't a champion, who wasn't even seen on the level of the champions who were at the top. He was a threat, but he wasn't on the level. We were saying he was a good fighter. We were saying he could be champion if he improves. But that fight with Haratunian had us asking some questions, even though, hey, he pulled it out in the end. But we were saying he has the ability to be a champion. We weren't saying he was on the level of those at 135, of Tio at that point in time, of Loma at that point in time. Shoot, of a Shakur that was just getting into the division. We weren't saying that at all about him. We weren't. He was still a good fighter that he needs to get some sway, get some push, get a chance to show what you can do. But we weren't saying he was on the level of them. No, we weren't. Not in the slightest. So no, Regis was indeed at that point in time contextually better than the likes of Frank Martin. And Loma beat Shakur. Absolutely. I genuinely think Loma beat Shakur. Honestly, that would be a good fight. Oh gosh, that would be a great fight. That would be a phenomenal fight. I want to know what Shakur would be able to do with the matrix-like ability of Lomachenko. And would he be able to dig to the body like David Haney did that helped him win that fight in the eyes of the judges? Though some people say that Lomachenko lost, it's still 50-50 how people feel about that fight. But regardless of which, I wonder with the brittle hands of somebody like Shakur Stevenson, how would he fare trying to go up against somebody who will be able to get, there's nothing you can do to stop him from getting on the inside if you're an opponent of Lomachenko. And what Loma turned that fight into when he fought against David Haney. Would Shakur be able to do that same thing and dig deep and go to war on the inside with the way that his hands are, which is a major concern. It's still a major concern right now. And so Tank is a 2-division champion. 140 doesn't count. Barrios had regular belt. Josh Taylor was undisputed. Okay. So appreciate the context that you put about. Do you remember when LB said Josh Taylor was undisputed at that time? Brings nothing to the table, but Barrios did. Josh wanted to fight Tank. Let's not forget that. Josh was indeed undisputed. Josh was indeed pound for pound top 10 at one point in time in the boxing landscape. That was undeniable. We talked about that on this show. Ranked pound for pound, ranked in the pound for pound top 10. Was one of the best in the world. He could have gone after him. And from a physical standpoint, would have been a little bit easier. Because he wasn't the towering type of power puncher. Still strong, don't get me wrong, still great. But physically, you might have matched up better with Josh than you did with Barrios. But you took on Barrios. And like I said, Barrios had the regular belt, not the super, not the legitimate world championship. So this is not me trying to paint Tank as a bad guy. But we cannot let the context of what his career is become something that is seen as an elevated level of standard success that everybody else should be compared to. Because it's not. If it was, we would not be having arguments on whether or not legitimately pound for pound Tank would be on the list. Right now, we keep saying talent, he's top 3. talent, he's pound for pound. Talent, he absolutely is from a skill set perspective. But from an actual pound for pound perspective, there's a reason why we don't say anything, because he's not in the conversation. Because he hasn't done anything, especially over the last year to 2 years, to prove to me or anybody else around boxing circles that he is indeed deserving of that moniker of being a pound for pound level fighter. Not because he doesn't have the ability, but because he hasn't done the work. He ain't done the work. He hasn't done the work at all. And especially with Welch, now he fought himself out of any pound for pound type of discussion. Genuinely. There's people that I knew that had him in top 10 at minimum. Just because he was Tank. Tank announces the fight with Welch. They took that brother off. And it was like, I can't believe this. This is hip hop. I get disconnected. Are we okay? We should be good. Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? I think we're good. Okay, we're back. We're reconnected. Okay, excuse me. So sorry. I apologize. We all of a sudden it just conked out and went haywire. But what I was saying before I got cut off by the string was Tank right now has been able to skate by off his name and legacy. Be able to skate by off his ability to be something that he hasn't proved. Now people are starting to see what he is for real. Now other boxers are starting to say the exact same sentiment that we have been having, at least on this channel, about Tank. Not because we hate him, but because he is so under what his actual ability is. When it comes from the standpoint of being a legitimate top level name. And so, I'm telling you, he's shooting himself in the foot. He's shooting himself in the foot every time. He can be better. But the brother right now, from a resume perspective, is not at the par. Not at the par in the slides. But let's see. We still got people commenting and having questions. I'm trying to make sure I scroll through to get everything. Do you think Regis is better? Do you think Regis is better than Barrios? I'm not saying Regis is better than Barrios. Especially with Barrios now, what he showed against Ramos. But at that point in time, again, it's not just what they are in the whole. You have to value what they were at that standpoint. Even if he's not as good as Barrios, he still is in the same ballpark as Barrios. He's in the same ballpark as Barrios. That's the thing. He's in the same ballpark as Barrios. He may be under the level, but he's in the same ballpark. And he was able to beat him. So it's like, hey, shoot. There's still that's the credit. And who are the elite fighters at 135? Shakur, Keyshawn Davis, Lomachenko. Shoot, it used to be before Tank waited everybody out. Teofimo Lopez. It used to be Ryan Garcia. It used to be Devin Haney. There are about 8 names. 9 if you want to count Shakur and Navarrete coming up into 135. Let's not forget that. Oh, there's some names out there. Oh, yes, there are. But Tank is not fighting them. That's on him. That's his decision. But because of that, we have to do and say, hey, due diligence, brother, you ain't doing what you do. And Tank is a natural 135 pounder. Roberto Duran fought at light heavyweight. Roberto Duran fought at light heavyweight. And Roberto Duran was the same weight as Tank. Pacquiao was 98 pounds coming in the box. Became an 8th division world champion and fought all the way up to 147. Fought Antonio Margarito. Fought Oscar De La Hoya when it was supposed to be he was going to get destroyed. Fought the likes of so many quality opponents. And he's 140. Or he became 147. We've seen other people do what we want Tank to do. And some of them don't even have the skill sets that Tank has. It's not like we're asking Tank to do something that is out the norm. Tank is a natural 135 pounder. Or you saying he's natural 130 pounder, but he said his best weight class is 135. Contradiction. Lamont Roach is a 130 pound champion. He is. He's not a 135-pound champion. The brother is a veteran who just got the title just a while ago. And nobody was rating Lamont Welch, with all due respect, as a highly talented person. He wasn't shocking the world. He wasn't on a whole bunch of people's radar when he did win the title. And we're not looking at Lamont Welch as a world killer, are we? Are you looking at Lamont Welch as legitimately a quality opponent for Tank? Are you looking at Lamont Welch as an actual test for Tank? Are you? I'm asking. To the chat as well. Are you? Go ahead. Answer. The floor is yours. We can go. Are you actually saying that Lamont Welch, as a 135-pound champion, not just is worthy to fight Tank, let alone he ain't even undisputed. So it ain't like he cleaned out the weight class to be like, yeah, give me the best up there because I ain't got no more work down here. Ain't even unified, is he? No. But he's a test for Tank because he's 135 and Tank is a natural 135. In your words, even though he's naturally 135, can't fight up to 140, has the skill set to fight at 147, shoot, that brother could fight against Boots, and we would all be saying that Tank could legitimately win. That's not the question. No, sir, but it will be a good fight. I hope it is. I genuinely hope it is. I want to see Lamont Welch prove me wrong. I want to see Lamont Welch show me that I don't know anything. I want to see Lamont Welch make it so that, yeah, that brother beats Tank. I want to see Lamont Welch beat Tank. I want to see the upset happen. I want to see a star that we all overlooked come out the woodwork and all of a sudden shock us all. Cement himself as now one of the best in the world. Be a French pound-for-pound contender after getting the upset of the year. Potentially upset the last 5 years. Potentially. Going through and now getting fights with the likes of Shakur, Keyshawn Davis. Hey, you did it. Move up. Stay up. Let's see what you got. I want to see that. Because we always want to see boxing the ball. But I cannot sit here in good conscience and say that what we know about Tank, what we know about Lamont Welch, studying both of their fighting styles, studying both of them as boxers, mentally and physically, as well as the circumstances surrounding the ability in their respective weight classes and where their weight classes actually are. I can't see that in the slightest that this is going to be a good fight. If it's because I want you to understand, and everybody watching, also, El Pinchy, what's going on with you? How you doing? Glad to see you. Thanks for tuning in to the show. We got a lot to talk about, trust and believe. We still got a whole another segment about Shakur Stevenson and others, and we still getting updates on Dinga Dubois potentially being out for the likes of the last crescendo this Saturday. Still, I'm getting conflicting reports of him being valid or not being valid, so we're still trying to make all finality of it and get something confirmed. But right now, we're talking about Gervonta Davis fighting Lamont Welch. And we're getting into a situation where we're asking whether or not this is going to be a good fight. And the real question is, if you are a Tank fan, do you really want this to be a good fight? Do you? I'm so serious. I'm not asking this in hyperbole. I'm not asking this as some hypothetical situation. If you are a Gervonta Tank Davis fan, I am a Tank Davis fan. Do you really want this saying, Fight Hype saying it's canceled? Right now, they're looking for a replacement for Joseph Parker in the immediate. In fact, I'll pull it up right now. Before I go on, let's do the old picture and picture. Yes, indeed. Right now, yes, you can see Shakur versus Josh Padley is getting face-off is happening right now. If you want to go on YouTube right now and look at it, I believe they're airing it. But as of this moment, again, for those of you who are just tuning in, the ring has learned the IBF champion, world heavyweight champion, Daniel Dubois, sick, currently being evaluated. Potentially will not be able to fight Joseph Parker on Saturday. We are still waiting on reports. This is the Ring Magazine official Twitter page. Lawrence Okogie, David Adelaide, Murad Ali, 3 opponents that are being looked at as legitimate options to be able to take and make the fight happen. It's a hypothetical. Still looking for updates, still looking for anything new. We got some people in the chat that was saying that it was indeed already canceled. Other reports are saying that it is indeed still being found out. And they're still trying to find somebody else. So the fight ain't over. Other reports are saying that he's still being evaluated and the brother may still be good to go. We don't know. Gonna have to wait and see. And we'll keep you updated and posted. Or you update me as time goes on. But if it is canceled, my gosh, if I have is correct, shoot. Oh, it's going to be bad. Oh, we're going to have a big conversation about how this event's going to be looked at in the public eye. It's still a good card. Don't get me wrong. But, ooh, that's a big hit. That's a huge hit to this whole situation. And I was looking forward to it. Yes, I was. Oh, yes, I was. But even still, getting back to Tank real quick. Getting back to, hold on. Let's get the echo out of here. Wait a minute. Oh, that can be bad. Hold on. There we go. Okay. My gosh. Hold on. When we look at the likes of Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach, if this fight is indeed a close fight, as we got the likes of LW, and others may want to feel the same way. If this fight is a good fight, do you really want that to happen if you're a Tank fan? Because that can be incredibly bad. That can be incredibly horrible. Because if this fight with Lamont Roach is indeed a good fight against a 135-pounder that on paper has no business being in the ring with you, has not done enough to garner being in the ring with you, just became a champion, was not highly touted, was respected, don't get me wrong, but wasn't highly touted as anywhere close to the level of Tank. And if anything, Tank was taken off of pound-for-pound list for fighting Lamont Roach because it was seen as a step down, more than just a cherry pick. This was seen as a slap in the face for what boxing fans were looking for from Tank. And with them announcing that he's only got 3 fights left in his career, with Tank and Lamont being one of those 3. If this fight is a competitive affair, what does that truly say about the likes of Gervonta Davis? Because at that point now, you're struggling against a 130 pounder that we're not even saying this brother could give you a run for your money if you did move up. This ain't like Marvin Hagler when he was calling out Sugar Ray Leonard when Ray Leonard was at 147. 140, 147. This ain't like that in the slightest. And for some history, Marvin Hagler and Sugar Ray Leonard, that fight happened at middleweight. It happened at Marvin Hagler's weight class. Now, Marvin Hagler, I believe, got robbed in that fight. And in one of the best fights of the decade. But it's still, he should have won. But regardless of which, he was calling out Sugar Ray Leonard at 147. Come out to 154, let me see what we can do. Let's get it on. Let's make it happen. But both of them were still being talked about in the same caliber. Both of them were being talked about in the same vein. To some respect. They were still talked about as, hey, if this fight did happen, my goodness, who would actually win? It's a lofty goal. But my gosh, it's a goal I would love to see. And it's a goal that I would shoot. People were invested because it was actually some level of competitive nature that could have been had with each other. Though the weight discrepancy was indeed egregious at that point in time. Before Leonard slowly moved up from 150, 147, 154, ultimately to 160, and so on. But with Lamont Roach, we have never even sniffed that man talking in conversations like this. And Tank struggling against Lamont Roach is like T.O. struggling against Kambosos. Or T.O. losing to Kambosos. That's a problem. That's a major problem. That's a huge problem. But that has us questioning what you are as a whole. If you can't handle with ease the likes of Lamont Roach, who even on paper, with him being a champion, with the skill set that he's got, even if he was at 135, has nowhere the ability to be able to beat the likes of Tank, in my point of view. That's bad. If anything, you want this to be as easy of a win as possible. Because any slight level of trepidation is further going to perpetuate the claim that Tank is indeed a duck. Because if he is indeed only beating people that he can handpick. Because now, if this handpicked opponent does indeed give him some trouble, or dare I say beat him, no wonder he didn't want to fight Ryan Garcia at 140. No wonder he never wanted to fight Devin Haney. No wonder he never stepped in the ring with Tio. No wonder he never did all of this different stuff. No wonder he never fought the likes of Lomachenko. Because of now, look who just beat you. And this is supposed to be a situation where you were supposed to be the king of the crop. It begs a lot more questions. You don't want this to be close. The backlash is going to be ridiculous. The hype for Tank may just die down if this is a close and competitive affair. Yes, the respect of Lamont Welch will go up, sure. But the hype of Tank will take a huge hit if we see this fight be close. I don't want that to happen. My gosh. Because if it does happen, it's going to have us questioning truly what is Tank's actual ability. If you're struggling against the likes of Lamont Welch, more than giving Lamont Welch the flowers of, my gosh, you made a fight at him. At least with the likes of Isaac Cruz, we were saying that, hey, he broke his hand over his head, won the fight with one hand, but then never gave him a rematch. Never gave Isaac Cruz a rematch. And it was like, man, why not? Makes all the sense. We pay more money. Financially, it makes sense. Competitively, it makes sense. Somebody who rises to the occasion, yeah, makes sense. Your protege, or the person you are being mentored by at that point in time, in the likes of Floyd Mayweather, close and competitive fights, he went back to back and did him in. Beat him more soundly the second time to prove it wasn't a fluke. Do that same thing with a competitive fight. Didn't do it. Was starkly against it. And so we're saying, look, man, a lot of stuff that you don't want this fight to be with Lamont Welch. But the biggest, if you're a Tank fan, the biggest of which is you don't want this fight to be competitive. Because if you're a Tank fan and this fight is competitive, you are going to have so much flack coming back at you. Oh, I promise you. I promise you. Mark my words. But again, beyond Tank, we still got more stuff to cover on the world of the last crescendo with the fights happening this weekend. We got still Shakur Stevenson fighting the likes of Josh Padley. And with that fight with Josh Padley, yes, we know Shakur is probably going to beat him. Probably going to outbox. Josh Padley, again, is 14-0. 22 and 0. And is that did I write down the resume correctly? 15-0. 4 KOs on his resume. It's somebody who's, again, the last minute replacement. Most likely is nowhere close to the ability of a Shakur. It's going to be a whitewash. But even with that being the case, what do we need to see from the likes of Shakur Stevenson in this fight? And can it just be winning as usual? And I've said this with Devin Haney, and I'm saying it with Shakur now. This is going to be still, most likely, the biggest stage you will have in his career. Yes, the opponent is no longer the same because Floyd Schofield is out. Because Floyd Schofield is sick. And that Floyd Schofield thing may not even be a fluke because now everybody's getting sick. Seemingly. And we're now scared for the integrity of the card. But on the whole, we're looking at, we're saying if Shakur does indeed put on a regular performance, he can't have that. Because then the stigma of him being born is going to be more compounded. The ability for him to be somebody who just wins the night, not ends the night, especially against somebody that doesn't have any power, is going to be even more exacerbated in the eyes of the public. And his star power is going to further fall flat and further get devalued. We need to see Shakur look good. More than just look good, we need to see Shakur look great. We need to see Shakur have a knockout type performance. And we need to see Shakur be able to look good in spite of what his hands are. Because if his hand injuries are still concerning, if his hand injuries are still bad, if his hand injuries are still indeed a situation that has us all saying Shakur is now, he can't do and can't utilize the full arsenal of his skill set. That's going to be a problem. That can be a big concern. That can be a real bad situation. And we need to see what type of fighter Shakur is now post-hand injury. And specifically, will he be willing to use all the tools in his tool belt? Will he even have access to all the tools in his tool belt when he goes and fights? Will that be the situation or will it not? Will it not in the slightest? And could we see this brother look again? Pot-shotting, boring, no manner of looking to be more offensively minded, especially against a puncher who really can't do anything against him. It could be bad. It could be incredibly bad. Oh, it could be horrible. But if we could turn this into a event, a real event, that makes the world see him as something to see. More than just, a pot shot and counterpuncher. More than just, a slick person. He's got that dog in him and he can bring it out. Like he did against Valdez. Like he did against Yoshino. Like he did against Jamal Harry. Then we got ourselves a real conversation. Now this could be good. This could be really good. This could be phenomenal. This could be incredible. And I would want to see it. I truly would. But if he shows another lackluster type performance, talk about a bad taste in the mouths of boxing fans who already are looking to be incredibly disappointed, potentially, with how this fight card is falling apart before our eyes. Again, hypothetical. You can't afford a bad fight if you're Shakur. You need something spectacular. If you don't have something spectacular, it's going to be bad for you in the long run, especially on the biggest stage in your career. If you can get a knockout, get one. If you can't, shoot. At least make it entertaining and show everything you got. Because if you don't, we're going to see it. And we ain't going to let these excuses of hands this time push us away from the fact that, now this is more than just a stigma. This is your reality. You are indeed this. A fighter that we don't want to see. Even though you're a big name. And I don't want that to happen. So let's see what he can do. And hopefully he can get a dominating performance. Not just in boxing and technical ability, but in knockouts against Josh Padley. We're going to have to wait and see. But now, shoot. I think that's about everything. Oh, and one more thing. Well, the last thing. When it comes to the likes of Admiral Schofield, or Floyd Schofield. Not Admiral, Floyd Schofield. Now we see this brother. Maybe the illness, I still don't think it was a situation where cream or anything made him sick. But I think the whole situation of reacting, he'll never get this opportunity again. He'll be ostracized from this, making excuses and all this stuff. I don't think he's going to lose out on that because now we see that, okay, this illness wasn't just a one-time thing. Everybody's potentially getting affected. And so it's like, okay, we understand. There's some grace that can be given. But notice, like we talked about in the past with fathers and trainers, cashing checks that your son has to pass or your son has to cash in. The stigma on Schofield in the initial, and even now, with what we know now about the whole card, potentially being at risk. It is real that the brother is going to be an asterisk. It's going to be a paintbrush stroke on his career as to how people look at him because of what his dad did. And his dad pushed him into a situation that he was going to be hated by the public because of what he kept running his mouth trying to be. And now, all the lies, all of the inflammatory stuff, all of the this, that, and the third, the rah-rah, the loud and brash nature has gotten his son into a situation where even with what we see now with Daniel Dubois potentially being out the card and others potentially at risk for being out the card, there's still not as much grace as should be given on the side of Schofield because of his father. Just another plot point to show. Trainers and fathers, they can be great, but they can also at the same time ruin the reputation of the boxer. Not even of their own accord, but because of something that they didn't even say. And a perception that they didn't cultivate, but somebody else cultivated for them. It can be bad. Absolutely can be bad. But now, I believe that's about it. Oh, we still got more people coming. We go, wait a minute. It's official, but it's happening. Oh, shoot. Wait a second. Wait a minute. Is this real? Let me pull it up. Wait a minute. Wait a second. Is this real? I'm so sorry. I was getting ready. We getting ready. In fact, let's do it right now. Oh my gosh. Oh shoot. Well, let's do it. Let's jump into it. This is the best time than any to go and let's do what we do best. It's the championship rounds. And what a way to start the championship rounds with this incredible announcement. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the championship rounds. Whatever you want to discuss and talk about, Anything and everything is on the table. Make the show your own and comment whatever you want to chat in the chat below. But we're going to start it off with a big bang because right now it's been saved. Yes, indeed. Yes, sir. Y'all were right. Bacoli was out, or Dubois was out, and Bacoli is in. And now we got Bacoli versus Parker in a fight that we have all... I'll tell you what. Oh my gosh. This is insane. This is ridiculous. This is stupendous. Yo. From the brink of death, we now got ourselves a situation where we are back in contention for it's still a great card. It's still a great card. Thank goodness. Oh my gosh. I was sitting up here saying I was scared of my mind. Again, for those of you who don't know, Bacoli will replace Daniel Dubois to fight Joseph Parker. And Bacoli quickly taking his reins up to be seen or getting more, like I said, the win over Jared Anderson was great. Put him in contention for a top 10 level fight. Now, that brother's going to be fighting against Joseph Parker. And if he wins this fight, he may get a shot at Daniel Dubois. And it's, oh shoot. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh, I need a drink. Yo. I mean, like, shoot, man. It's spectacular. This is incredible. Bacoli, thankfully, hopefully he's been training. You know what I mean? Training. And if he has, and if he's prepped and ready, brother, it's time. Again, for those of you who just tuning in, Bacoli's replacing Joseph Parker, or is replacing Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois is officially out, and Bacoli is officially in to fight Joseph Parker as the replacement fight for Riyadh season. And talk about a fight that now, weren't we just talking a couple days ago about what we would want to see Bacoli fight and get into? Who Bacoli could face off against? What Bacoli could have as a potential opportunity at his disposal? And now we're here. Now it's time. Now we're set and ready. And now we can finally see Bacoli get his shot at the big boys. I mean the big boys. And can he live up to that George Foreman-esque type moniker that people are putting on him against a legitimately good and dangerous opponent? Because Joseph Parker is not Jared Anderson. But my gosh, even so, that fight's going to be incredible. I'm so excited. Oh gosh, I'm ecstatic. I'm so ecstatic. Bacoli saved the card. Yes, he did. I couldn't believe it. It's official. Bacoli versus Parker. It's like, brother, let's go. My gosh, let's go. This is great. This is going to be a card that's still going to live up to the hype. Oh, it's going to be incredible. I'm sorry. I'm excited. I'm so happy. I'm right with it. So glad Parker and Bacoli agreed to this. Shakur stayed on the card, so I'm glad it's been saved. Yep. Hopefully nobody else gets sick. And now we are at still, it's a little bit diminished, but it's still, if we can't get Dubois versus Parker, hey, Bacoli versus Parker ain't bad in the slightest. It ain't bad as a co-main event. That ain't bad in the slightest. And now, let's be perfectly honest. We talked about is Bacoli ready for the likes of Parker? Because this is one of the matchups. This can be, shoot, again, it's a championship rounds. We can talk about whatever we want to discuss, but let's be real about it right now. With Bacoli and Parker, do you think Bacoli can beat him? Do you genuinely think Bacoli can beat him? Because I was thinking that Daniel Dubois would be able to beat the likes of Joseph Parker because of the aggression, chin, power, and physical capabilities. Now, we've seen Parker struggle against behemoths before, like against the likes of Joe Joyce. Let's not remember that. Let's not forget that. When Joseph Parker fought against Joe Joyce, he did everything he could, but the granite wall would not fall, and eventually late in the rounds, Joe Joyce's power and constant slow but effective work rate, constant slow but methodical, powerful nature, throwing out that heavy jab, throwing out that straight right hand, and inevitably it was, I believe, a hook that did him in and ultimately knocked out Joseph Parker. He couldn't go all 12. And unlike with Zhang, who he got knocked down in. But Coley's got stamina. But Coley can go all 12. But Coley's got the ability to be able to last with the all 10-round nature that we see the likes of Joseph Parker be able to do. This ain't gonna be like a situation where Deontay Wilder, Bucoli's gonna lose himself. No, we know what Bucoli is. Bucoli is a heavy-handed, arm-throwing puncher. It doesn't need a whole lot of torque to get some power. Can go all 12 and can be a volume puncher, as well as is another granite wall. Maybe not in the chin, though he still has a good chin. He may not have the chin of a Joe Joyce, but he's got the body of a Joe Joyce. And don't look the same, but brother, you ain't hurting him to it. You ain't like he can just essentially. He is a walking wall. He is a walking wall that is facing you. That is genuinely like he'll walk you down. He will walk you down. That's what he'll do. He'll walk you down. And so it's gonna be. It's going. Has Joseph Parker learned from the experiences of Joe Joyce and the fight with Big Bang Jang, and what to do to mitigate power and be able to deal with size? It's going to be an interesting affair. And honestly, I'll tell you what, let's see. We saw Zhang drop Parker twice and Bucoli, who is 31. Wait, hold on. We saw Zhang drop Parker twice and Bucoli. Hold on, wait, excuse me. Let me phrase it. Are you saying that Zhang dropped Parker twice and Bucoli as well, who was 31? Did Zhang fight Bucoli? Or are you saying that Zhang dropped Parker twice and he was old, and Bucoli is 31 in his physical prime with power that's some of the best in the division? I think that's what you're saying. I think that's how I'm reading it. Okay, yeah. So yeah. Okay, yeah. Yep. Okay, yeah. So yeah. So oh boy, it's gonna be a tough time. Oh, it's gonna be a tough time. And I hate to say it, but I think Bucoli may just beat him. I truly do. I think Bucoli's gonna beat him. It's on short notice. Absolutely. It's gonna be, I'm probably way overestimating the abilities of Bucoli without having a training camp dedicated to one specific fighter, which for all we know, he could get whitewashed because he isn't prepped for what we see from the hand speed of the likes of Joseph Parker, as well as the tendencies as a boxer. Able to use some head movement, can be slick at times, a crude slickness, in terms of being able to slip under punches, as well as the volume and punch patterns that we see Joseph Parker have. Isn't going to get acclimated to, or hasn't gotten acclimated to. But I tell you what, he's equipped to beat him. He's equipped to beat him. He's equipped to take him out. Oh, yes, he is. I'm like, this is, shoot, man. I'm just excited. I think Bucoli's gonna beat Joseph Parker. He's got better stamina. He's not as close to I think Zhang is right now probably the second most powerful puncher in the division, outside of the likes of, again, Deontay Wilder, or Anthony Joshua. You can put him second or third, and even with Wilder out, he's either the second best or the best puncher in the division. That with stamina and with size and with durability and with the ability to up the pace as the fight goes on, with him not needing a whole bunch of torque to get power, and can catch you, especially when Joseph Parker likes to duck down. We saw what happened with the likes of Jared Anderson and other opponents who try to duck down as a defensive tactic against Bucoli. Snap their head back and essentially pop their head back up. Oh, it can be bad. I think Bucoli's going to beat him. I think Bucoli's going to do it. I think this was about to punch his ticket into being one of the biggest, or into one of the biggest, not just one of the biggest paydays, but the biggest opportunity and the closest you will ever get to a title opportunity. He's about to punch his ticket right now. I think he's going to do it. My gosh. There's a really tough place where Parker is about. Parker ain't scared. Parker's about to smoke. He'll fight anybody. But I tell you what, talk about a tall task. And it's without a title. Oh boy, you gotta respect it. And this is why I love Joseph Parker, because Parker continues to go in again. When he lost to Joyce and when he lost to AJ, he just kept on going and fighting the next best opponent, rebuilding himself and inevitably getting himself back to an opportunity to fight against the likes of Daniel Dubois. Now fighting against a Bacoli, again another top 10 contender. He fought his way back into this level of elite top 10 status. So I'm excited to see it. I can't wait. So yeah, so I'm right in interpreting how the Texas Bacoli. I bet. Oh boy. Talk about getting paid. That brother about to make some bank. That cat about to make some bank. Big bucks. That brother about to be loaded. He's about to be loaded. Let alone if he wins. He's about to be loaded when it comes to his ability to make some money. Oh my gosh. It's about to be incredible. It's about to be phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And so I'm happy. And he earned this. Dubois, Parker, and Bacoli all earned this opportunity to make the money that they're making now. I'm just like, will you be streaming the card? You know what? I forgot to put out the poll. Do you want me to stream the card? We asked this in the last show. I got one yes. Now, granted, I believe there was only a couple people in the chat. And so, but I got a yes. And so, if you give me another yes, we'll make it happen. We'll stream the card. Because this is even still, without the likes of Schofield, without the likes of Dubois, still one of the best cards that we have in probably still one of the best cards of all time. Bar none. Point blank period. So yeah. So shoot, if y'all want me to do it, I'll make it happen. I'll get the fight. I'll put it up. I'll put out a poll. But if y'all want me to do it, you can chat it now or vote later. I'll get it done. And we'll have this fight streaming. What is it going to be, 6 hours, 7 hours? Shoot. I got to make sure I eat. My gosh. I really got to make sure I eat to be able to make this happen. And we'll make it happen. No question about it. Let's see. Wilder's power looked weak in the last couple fights. It wasn't that. I don't think Wilder's power was weak more than he wasn't willing to throw the right hand anymore. He became hesitant, complacent. Complacent is the wrong word. He was fighting out of the style that we normally have. Him training under Malik Scott, as well as some other factors, potentially internally, had him fighting not like the Bronze Bomber. Had him not going, guns to the wall, or spraying and praying, going through and giving and just whacking, throwing, relying on it. He showed a little bit of that in Zhang, but he just couldn't land clean. He landed clean maybe once or twice, but Zhang mitigated all of it. But also Wilder just wasn't the same Wilder. It's not that he still has the power. He still does have the power. It's just the brother he's not him. You can have the tools, but if you don't know how to use them anymore, you can't be what you used to be. You just can't. If your mentality up here is gone, then you're not going to be what you used to be. Even if you still have all the ability. Athletically, he's still one of the more athletic heavyweights in the world. But it's his mentality that's hindering his ability, because his own self-belief, as well as his own stopgaps that he's put in place, now they're holding him back from fighting just like Wilder of old. And he's tried to evolve himself into a style that doesn't fit him in the slightest, and it's hurting him more than helping him. He gets out of that, he could very well be able to be exactly who we think he is, or who he used to be. But it's a long road that I don't think he's going to be able to get to anymore. And I think yeah. So the power's still there, but Wilder is no longer there. And he looks washed, because he is washed. I don't want that to be the case, but it's the truth. Right now, he's washed. Yeah, I got Bacoli too. Funny, I thought Dubois versus Parker was 50-50, but I had Bacoli stopping Parker. So it's like that fight was, the Dubois fight was because it was two people on the comeback, reinventing whose will is going to stay. And it was like Parker could beat Dubois, and Dubois could beat Parker. It's not like Parker doesn't have the power to stun and hurt and potentially put out the likes of Dubois. and Dubois vice versa. And we know Dubois is going to take some hits because Dubois, this new Dubois, isn't even defensively sound. He's just a brawler. He's a straight up brawler. That brother's coming in and absolutely going to work. Hooks, uppercuts, shots, left, right, and center, overwhelming you with double jabs as he's moving forward, overhand rights, genuine like work to put you on the back foot, utilizing his size. He took shots from Hrgovic all night long before ultimately getting the stoppage. Like he didn't care if he got hit. He just wanted to work. That's where we see Dubois right now. That's where we see Dubois. And because that's the case, like, shoot, Joseph Parker could have caught him. But now against Bacoli, it's like the height of Wilder, or the height of a Fury, with the weight of a Fury, or the weight of a Zhang, excuse me, with a power close to or on par with the Anthony Joshuas and Zhangs of the world, on top of having stamina and a chin, and has the same build and same tendencies like another fighter like Joe Joyce that you struggled with. That's a mountain of attacks, man. If Joseph Parker pulls this off, shoot. Give him Usyk at this point. Go ahead, forget Dubois. Give him Usyk. Might as well. Just because. Also, now that this fight's made, who's gonna be the man? Who's gonna be the next fight for Usyk? Wait a minute. Hold on. Stop the press. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I just thought of something. I'm sorry. We still got more comments. Hold on. Let me read your comments real quick. Okay. Yes, in terms of me wanting to do the show, great. I'll put a poll, get more people, but most likely, yeah, we'll do it. Let's see. I agree. Wilder is hesitant in fighting. Dare I say scared? I'll say cautious. No, scared is the right word. Scared and cautious, both of them. When it comes to Wilder, absolutely. I think I broke it down better earlier in past episodes when I got a clip that I cut up. But no, Wilder lost himself. He lost himself. But in terms of Bacoli versus Parker, remember, winner of this was supposed to fight Usyk. Now, is that still the case? Is that still the case? That we're going to see the winner of this fight the likes of Usyk? Because remember, Usyk only has 2 fights left in his career. With this fight, the winner of this fight was supposed to be one of them. And now it's not even for the title. So this is going to be interesting. What's the landscape of this now? Is it going to be that the winner of this faces Usyk for unified and then faces Dubois? Or is this a situation where Usyk faces the winner? Or excuse me. Is it a situation where winner of this faces Dubois for the IBF title, and then that winner then faces Usyk? But then that gives Usyk a whole lot of time out the ring, and he doesn't want that. It would have to be. I think what might happen, and I could be wrong. Absolutely, I could be wrong. But I think what might happen, we get Dubois versus Usyk outright later this year. We get Dubois versus Usyk. No, like point blank period. Dubois versus Usyk happens later this year because Dubois couldn't make this fight. We get undisputed once again. And that's the first of Usyk's 2 last fights. And then afterwards, Usyk faces off against the winner of Bacoli versus Joseph Parker. I think that's the route that's going to happen. I think that's the route that's going to take place. Genuinely, I do. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I feel like that's the most, that's the route that makes sense the most. When we look at the standpoint of how to, again, if you want to go with storytelling, this is the best way to do it. And again, for those of you who, again, are just tuning in, we are still, understand, Joseph Parker versus Bacoli is indeed happening. That is the replacement fight for Parker versus Daniel Dubois. We're trying to understand if this fight is, since this fight is indeed a go, what is going to be the case for Usyk's last 2 fights? Because it was supposed to be the winner of this fights Usyk for undisputed, because they would have been the IBF title. And I think what's going to happen, winner of this still gets that, is still going to get the opportunity. But it's going to be, they move ahead with Usyk versus Dubois at a later date. And then the winner of that fight faces the winner of this fight for, again, the undisputed title. Everything on the line. I think that's what's going to happen. And it makes all the sense, makes logical sense. We get both fights that we want to see, the rematch with Dubois and the rematch with Usyk from what happened the first time with this rejuvenated Dubois. And then on top of that, we then get to see Joseph Parker versus Bacoli. Will the comeback story continue, or will Bacoli cement himself as one of the best heavyweights in the world after his phenomenal domination of Jared Anderson, earning a shot he said he's deserved for who knows how long, saying that every major heavyweight is scared of him. Put it to the test. Got a lot of hype. Got a lot of bravado. Oh, that brother got some power to him too. And got a little bit of personality. He's got all the makings to be somebody that everybody would want to care about. That would be the best of both worlds to make that fight happen. That's what I would want to see. And if it did happen that way, hey, great. Oh, I'd love it. Oh, I would love it. I would love it, absolutely. No question in my mind. Absolutely no question in my mind. But now, shoot, I still want to hear from you all. We got about, this is still the championship rounds. Let's not forget, we still have roughly 30 minutes up until more like 10. We'll go to like 3 o'clock, and then we'll wrap it up on the show. Is there anything else you all want to discuss on the matter? We've covered just about everything. Again, we've had so much breaking news in the world of sports. With Dubois out, with Shakur Stevenson being replaced, with Schofield out, with now Bacoli in, with Victor Wembanyama out for the season with a blood clot in his shoulder after having one of the most dominant sophomore years we had seen in recent memory. Was going to be Defensive Player of the Year, was going to be absolutely all defensive first team, probably all NBA third team, I can almost assure you. And and quickly elevating himself to one of the best players in the world. Top 10 is right in the line of sight. All that. Oh, yeah. And now ripped away. Talking about the likes of, the movie, Captain Falcon. In fact, I said I was talking about Captain Falcon, would I? Let's talk about it. Good, shall we? Might as well. For those of you who are sticking around for the show, I got to see Captain Falcon, A Brave New World. Newest Marvel movie that came out, starring Anthony Mackie. And see, people are finding out. Wemby's out too. Wemby's done. Wemby's gone. Wemby is finito. Legitimately, after having one of the best types of sophomore seasons that we had seen. If you hadn't known, I'll pull it up right now to verify with you. Victor Wembanyama's out. He's gone. He's done. My gosh. Expected to miss the remainder of the season with a deep thrombosis in his right shoulder, which I believe is a blood clot issue. And this is what look at what this man was doing. Led the NBA in blocks. Led the NBA in stocks. I believe blocks and steals. Only player with a 5-5 game. First player with the 3 block and 3 pointers made game. First player with 20, 10, 1 assist and 3 blocks in the season since 1996. Since, I believe, Jordan's last title. Youngest center to score a 50-point game. Youngest center to score 30 points, which averaging 4 blocks a game. 24, I believe 24-11 or 24-12 and 4 on the season. Had been shooting from 40 and shooting upwards of 33 to 30, 35% from beyond the arc. And was quickly turned into one of the more, not just one of the more versatile centers in the league, but one of the more versatile defenders that we had seen, completely stopping offensive breaks simply by being in the paint because nobody wanted to get in the paint with him. Has been the key difference maker to why this Spurs squad has such a promising future when they just got De'Aaron Fox in the offseason. We couldn't wait to see what that would look like. Now, guarded finish. And I mean, just everybody is just absolutely.
Hey, look at this. We got some problems here.
We got a problem.
We got some problems here.
And it's frustrating. It's so frustrating. Because I'm telling you, this brother right here is going to be the best in the NBA in a couple years. He's going to be the best in the world. At minimum, top 3. Not top 5, top 3. There's no question. Because when this man, I'm telling you, already still gaining muscle, still gaining ability, still gaining IQ, still developing his game. He's doing what he's doing now. Rookie year, put up 30 against Joel Embiid. Yes, he got put 70 on him, but he put up 30 against Joel Embiid without any sort of strength. It's strictly off of length and just raw talent. Gave Giannis work. Gave everybody work. Is one of the more versatile all-stars at a height that seems unfathomable. It boggles my mind. He is going to be one of the best in the world. Top 3. Probably within 2 years. I can almost assure you. Dare I say next year with him now wanting to come back with a vengeance. I'm so serious. Wemby's stats are Wemby's stats are completely insane. Stuff doesn't even make sense. It doesn't. It does not. It does not. There was a point in time where this brother had 6 blocks he had 6 blocks a game in 10 games at one point. It was like you 5, 6 blocks, 25 points, 12 rebounds. He was doing that like every other night at one point in the season. Boggles my mind. Insane. It's ridiculous. Also, what's going on here? Canelo's Floyd's son. How you doing? Good to see a salute to you. How you doing? Appreciate you joining in on the Welch. Right now, we're in the championship rounds. We've covered most of the stuff on the show. Whatever you want to discuss, though, you can put it in the chat. Whatever questions you want to talk about. And we here, and we live up until about, 3 o'clock? We can push to 3:15 just about. We having so much fun on this show. Our cousin from the Congo, Macaulay, is fighting Parker as a replacement. Oh, yes, we got it confirmed. It's been found out. We broke the news, or rather, the news got broken. The news got broken here on the show by the fans. I'm telling y'all are quicker than me. I'm trying to be as on top of stuff as possible. Y'all just on it. It's ridiculous. I'm happy. I'm so excited. This community is great. That's exactly why we're here. So we're going to make sure everybody's hyped for what we got going on. And now we got the Macaulay coming and fighting against Joseph Parker on literally 2 days' notice. And an insane feat. And this is a deserved opportunity. It's a deserved replacement. And what's my thoughts on it all? And let's see. Let me think here. What's my thoughts on it all when it comes to this fight? Let's see. I manifested this. I manifested the fight, my brother. I like the energy. By the way, I said Macaulay is on his way. Words are powerful. Yeah, they are. And Macaulay, even though some of the talk was a little bit out there with every single elite heavyweight where it had gone down and sparring. I was like, I don't know about that. But outside of that, he been saying, I'm going to get my shot. And we said he deserved his shot. Now the brother got his shot. And yeah, words are powerful. And I said Macaulay would do it. And he did it. No question about it. And now, what's my thoughts on it all? This is a fight that's well-deserved. This is a fight that Macaulay earned his way to get. If any replacement was going to be applicable, this would be it. And we were saying that we wanted to see Macaulay fight. We wanted to see Macaulay fight Zhang, Parker, Usyk, Fury, Dubois, Moses Atuma even at this point. The world was, AJ, Joe Joyce, everybody was on the table for the likes of Macaulay. So this was a fight that he earned his way into being talked about in those names. Now fighting against Joseph Parker, who had reinvented and made himself, rejuvenated his career. Brother, this is going to be Macaulay's biggest test. But I think Macaulay's going to do it. Even though it's on short notice. Even though Joseph Parker is incredibly savvy and deceptively quick with his hands. And he's got the power to legitimately give Macaulay some level of concern. Oh, that is true. You don't just walk forward on the likes of Wilder without some level of, I trust my chin and I trust my ability to get to him and hurt him, which he did multiple times. But we're looking and we're saying now, with Parker, all those skill sets are valid. But the one thing Macaulay has, not just with size, not just with power, not just with the ability to go all 12, not just with stamina. He's got all that, absolutely. But it is the makeup of his durability and his fighting style more specifically that it can give Parker so much trouble because it's the same style that Joe Joyce gave him trouble with. When Joe Joyce walked him down, took all his punishment, made him essentially tire himself out with the amount of force and the amount of legitimate offensive, just not just fluidity, but offensive volume that he had to put out just to be competitive in that fight and keep Joe Joyce to some level off him. And he couldn't do it. And by the end of the fight, got out. He got knocked out. And Bacoli, I think, can do the same thing. Does he have the chin of Joseph Parker at that point in time? I'm not going to say that. What I am going to say is that brother genuinely is built to beat him. You can't go to the body on him. You can't just be so defensive that you ain't throwing nothing back because he'll break through it. You can't get tired against the brother because if you do, that offense, it can for Bacoli, it can stay the same, and for you, you'll feel like he's getting even stronger. And you can't just try to outwork him because you will tire yourself out. Bacoli is built to beat Joseph Parker. Bacoli is built to shock everybody. And on a short notice, turn this fight into more than just a stepping stone. This is the fight that if Bacoli wins this, brother, he's potentially in the running to go and fight Usyk next. I'm so serious. Because like we were saying, what the ramifications for this fight previously was if Bacoli or if Dubois versus Parker, again previously, before the fight got canceled and Bacoli stepped in. If Dubois beat Parker, whenever that was going to face off against Daniel Dubois, if Dubois beat Parker, whenever that was going to face Usyk, Usyk had 2 fights left, and that was going to be one of them. Now, with Dubois out and Bacoli in, we could see if Bacoli does win. Bacoli is Usyk's last fight, and we see Dubois go ahead and get his shot at a rematch and the undisputed title against Usyk in the immediate, later on in the year. And then afterwards, winner of Joseph Parker versus Bacoli, they get their shot at undisputed next. And that's Usyk's last fight. And if that does happen, brother, it will be great. I'm telling you, it will be phenomenal. It would be incredible. And Bacoli hits like a rock. Also, Yoda, what's good with that? How you doing, Yoda? Appreciate you tuning in and joining in on the Welch Report. We are in the championship rounds right now, talk about anything and everything, and we are reacting to the breaking news that Bacoli is now fighting the likes of Joseph Parker. And now we have a situation where also, Saucer, what's up with you? How you doing, brother? Thanks for tuning in to the show. Appreciate you joining in on the live again. We've had, 207 people come in on the whole. We got 8 people in right now. Hey, we're doing great. We're doing phenomenal. If you would, please leave a like on the stream if you enjoy what we got going on. Right now, we're talking about boxing. We talked about Victor Wembanyama out for the season, which is a shock. Now we're talking about Bacoli in the boxing world, fighting against Joseph Parker and the ramifications of it all. And we have a situation where, hold on. Saucer, wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, shoot. Yo, what's good with you? Hold on a second. My boy, what's going on? Antoine, is that you? Brother, how you doing? Hey, brother, what's good with you? Look, happy that you're here. Hope you're doing well. I'm sorry I ain't got to talk to you in a minute. I've been trying to build this up as well as do some other stuff around the workforce. So I've been busy, but I'm glad that you're here. Appreciate you coming in. This is great. This is phenomenal. Hey, hopefully you're sticking around, but you get to see all the energy and fire that we got on this show. Oh, yes, indeed. You're going to want to stay because if this is your first time, Antoine, Saucer, you going to enjoy what we got to offer. Oh, yes, indeed. But let's keep it again. Sadly, I want to keep on reminiscing, but we got to go through with the rest of the show. But thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you, brother. Always love to you. Gonna reach out to you soon, probably after this or later on in the week. But appreciate you, man. Love to see you. Hopefully you're doing well. And I'm glad that you came and checked out to see what I got going on. But let's see what we got to say. Bacoli is basically a black Jang with better seven. That's a good question. I wouldn't say a black Jang. Zhang is better technically. But Bacoli is Coley, this is going to sound crazy, or maybe not, but Coley is a better version of Joe Joyce, in my opinion. But Coley's a better version of Joe Joyce. He's a better version of Joe Joyce. Better stamina, is better defensively, though he's not a great defensive fighter. And still has chin, still has size, still has power, still has pop, got better speed. And while and again, with him being 31 right now, if he doesn't waste the shot, can potentially really go and do what Joe Joyce could never do, which is to actually compete with the elite. Because Zhang couldn't. If Bakoli does this, he's better than him. If Bakoli does this, he's better than Joe Joyce. No question about that. No question in my mind. Absolutely. And yeah, Bakoli is faster than Zhang. Yes, but Zhang's hand speed it's not like he's slow. Again, hand speed, you can argue Bakoli's faster. No question. And the ability of defense, Zhang washes Bakoli. Technically, as a boxer, Zhang is better. Zhang is a better fighter. He is. He's a better fighter than Bakoli in all aspects. It's the stamina that makes Bakoli such a dangerous weapon. Something that Zhang truly lacks. And something that Zhang is going to have to really struggle against Caballero. Because if he can't get Caballero out, and Caballero's got good stamina going in that fight, brother, there's going to be a time that he's going to have to work. Work and work bad. Oh, gosh. Absolutely. But Bakoli, again, I'm excited to see what he can do. I'm really excited to see what he can do in this fight. And again, I'm good, brother. Hope all is well. Much love to you. Again, much love to you, Saucer. Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Leave a like on the stream if you would. Subscribe if you can. And share with everybody around you. Well, in all your family, all your friends. Let everybody know what we got going on. And share the show if you would. Helps me out immensely. We got some big plans for the show. Don't get it twisted. You might want to come back later on in the weekend. Because, oh boy, if you think this is great now, wait until Saturday. Oh, gosh. If enough people vote yes, we're going to be streaming this whole card, this whole fight. You're going to want to be in for that. Oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be incredible. But yeah, Bakoli already covered Bakoli faster than Zhang. My brother, you got Parker getting KO'd. Please let me know. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't get my prediction. Yes, I got Parker getting KO'd. Yes, I do. I have Justin Parker getting knocked out. I'm sorry, I broke down the fight. I didn't even say how Bakoli was going to win. I got Parker knocking out the likes of, I got Bakoli knocking out the likes of Joseph Parker. I truly do. And I think it's going to happen in the same way that we saw Joe Joyce do it. This is an eerily similar matchup. Eerily similar build. Eerily similar stylistic fight. Yes, it's on short notice. That's the biggest difference. How can Bakoli react to the experience of a Joseph Parker? That's going to be something that Bakoli ain't been in the ring with somebody like this. We also have to understand it. Let's not just throw Joseph Parker under the rug. Let's not forget that. He's been in the ring with the prime Wilder. He's been in the ring with the prime AJ. He's been in the ring with a Wilder in the first place. He's been in the ring with the likes of legitimate top-level contenders. This isn't a fluke. Again, he's been in the ring with Zhang. So it ain't like he doesn't know what he's getting into. Bakoli may just be surprised. Again, I have Bakoli knocking out Joseph Parker. I do. I got Bakoli knocking out Parker. But I'm not going to overlook what Parker brings to the table that Bakoli has never experienced before. When it comes to evolving and elevating their ability in a fight, making changes and adjustments, Joseph Parker has that ability. Bakoli hasn't faced somebody that can do that to this degree, nor that has the experience on the highest of high levels to make them sell or to handle many different types of situations. Joseph Parker has that ability. He's got that. He does. So now, but Parker's legit. We're not going to overlook Parker as a bump. No way. No way in the world. No way in the world. It's just, I truly think everything that Dubois had, while Bakoli isn't as good as Dubois, he's not. Nowhere close. Physically. In this situation, based on what's happened in the past, and based on what's happened in recent memory, like with Zhang, when Zhang was able to fight for the first 5-6 rounds in his fight with Joseph Parker. Size with Parker is a big issue. Size and stamina is a nightmare. Bakoli's got both, even if he's not as skilled. And if he can force this into a dogfight, like we know we can do. Oh, Parker's got a long night, and I think Parker's going to get knocked out. So I got Parker being knocked out by Bacoli. And I got Bacoli winning this fight by KO and potentially punching his ticket into an opportunity for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. At minimum, becoming high ranked for a mandatory. Absolutely. Oh, I got that. But it's going to be exciting to see. And yeah, Zhang and Bacoli are quite different. Both are big, but both are big and can punch, but I agree with that. Okay, yeah, so see, there is a difference. Both are good. Zhang is better, wholeheartedly. Bacoli, physically, is incredibly similar. That's where the discrepancy is. And so yeah, I'm betting my brother. Please let me know what will Bacoli do? What may Bacoli lose? What may lose Bacoli the fight? What may lose Bacoli the fight would be most likely probably the deceptive. Shoot, let me think. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna answer this question. In fact, actually, while I'm thinking, I'll go through the rest of the comments and I'll get back to this question. I'll answer it. I'll give you some time to think. Because again, this is just being made. So I gotta kind of think. I gotta kind of paint the picture a little bit on the side of Joseph Parker for a little bit. But let me see. I'm gonna answer that, Canelo. Let me just go and get the rest of the comments. But let's see. Ben subbed and already liked the stream. Already done. Appreciate it, so again, thank you for tuning in. I got no hate for Parker, but if Bacoli came home on short notice, would that be hilarious? I don't think it would be hilarious. I think that would be a real shock to the system. That wouldn't be funny. That would be horrifying. My gosh. That would mean that, yeah, Bacoli was avoided by a lot of people. That would be horrifying because now Bacoli's living up to the hype of what he said that he was. And what everybody's afraid of me. If he knocks out Joseph Parker in short order, my gosh, horrifying. And that Bacoli uppercut caught Big Baby was short and sneaky. And it wasn't no torque behind it. But it was indeed incredible. And it started the beginning of the end. Oh yeah. Bacoli ain't nothing to mess with. You remember the video where Bacoli talked about what he would do to all the boxers and he said he would KO Parker? Someone should make an edit. Hey, somebody should. And if he's successful, they're going to use that clip. Oh, they will. They definitely will. No question about that. Who got a better chin, Parker or Anderson? Oh, Parker's got a better chin. No question. Parker took the punishment of Joe George for 8 rounds. Again, the only people that have stopped Parker have been two of, at that point in time, the biggest punchers in the heavyweight division. AJ and Joe Joyce. So no, Parker has indeed a phenomenal chin. Way better than Anderson. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, he's better than Anderson. No question he's better than Anderson. And he's just a better fighter than Anderson. All out now. Bacoli had one loss with the heavyweight that no one wants to fight. Who was he? He did have a loss. Let me look it up real quick. Let me make sure. Let's see. Bacoli fight record. Let me look it up to make sure. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait 1 second. Let me pull up the good old box rec, so we can make sure that we got this situated. The loss was early in his career, or earlier in his career in 2018 against Michael Hunter. Michael Hunter, who is now 24-1, whose last loss was to Alexander Usyk, ironically enough. So hey, it's like actually, I've heard some ruminations about Michael Hunter. Shoot, I think in the limelight of what the heavyweight division has turned into with all these other big heavy hitters, I think Michael Hunter might have been overlooked a little bit. My gosh, but no, but Michael Hunter beat Bacoli, though it was an earlier Bacoli. Regardless of which, Michael Hunter ain't no joke. 24-1, two draws on his career, 17 KOs. Got some good power. Is ranked 12th in the world right now, just outside the top 10, the 7th best heavyweight in America. Ain't nothing to scoff at. Nothing to scoff at all. But in terms of Bacoli had a loss with a heavyweight no one wants to fight. Michael Hunter's good, don't get me wrong. But I think Bacoli, if they fought again, I think Bacoli would beat him now. Rather than when he lost to him at that point in time. Again, just my 2 cents about it. But let me see. Let me go through so I can get back to the original question of how Parker could lose or how Parker could beat Bucoli. Because Bucoli, a funny dude, also he's a boogeyman. Yeah, he's a boogeyman. If Bucoli's power doesn't deter Parker, then Parker boxes him up for the W. I got Bucoli by KO. Okay, see, understand him. What is Parker's weakness then? Bucoli was injured in that fight and he was swinging wildly. Yes, he was. Tucker should stop with these two cousin prospects of him, and we need some good prospects on the undercard. And it's like, I mean, at this point, I'm not mad with Turkey putting these people on because these are the people that we want to see for the most part. So I'm not hating on it. For me, I'm not hating on it. For me, but let me go back. Let me go back to your original question. What may lose Bucoli the fight? What may lose Bucoli the fight isn't just the boxing ability, but I think frustration. Because let's look at this from a standpoint that Bucoli is a plotter. His hand speed is good, but it's not like his movement speed is incredible. He's just so big that he takes up half the ring. Yes, it's hard to get around that, brother, because how much you got to move to get off angle on Bucoli is the length of doggone the Great Wall of China. Because he's just such a large human being. No question. But if we see Parker be able to utilize some movement, make Bucoli really have to work to chase him. You be better defensively than we saw against the likes of Jared Anderson, which I have no doubt he will be. Because mind you, he made adjustments against Zhang when he got caught against Zhang. He did. Let's not forget that. It wasn't just that he beat him. Excuse me. And it wasn't just that Zhang got tired. We saw Joseph Parker make adjustments in that fight to stop the left hand and to mitigate the power that we see Joseph Parker using, or that we see Zhang using. So Bucoli, what can beat Bucoli will be frustration and experience. Those are the two biggest things that can beat him. Again, if you're betting. I'm not condoning betting. I ain't doing nothing like that. I ain't sponsored by nobody either. So unless my bookie or DraftKings or FanDuel, somebody wants to sponsor this show, hey, give me some money. You ain't gonna get no better breakdowns than right here on this channel. But the biggest thing that can beat the likes of Bucoli is frustration and experience. Understanding, using tricks that maybe Bucoli hasn't seen before. Making Bucoli have to think in a manner that he's not used to. Again, because Parker has been in the ring with the likes of Zhang and Joyce, he learns what he needs to do to mitigate that type of size disadvantage. We've seen this. Mind you, if that wasn't the case, he would have lost to Zhang again. He would have lost to Zhang after losing to Joe Joyce if he didn't learn. Especially after the two knockdowns. He would have lost to Zhang if he didn't learn and adapt. Bucoli's never faced off against an adaptable fighter outside of, again, Michael Hunter. Michael Hunter was somebody who, mind you, fought him with an injury, and Bucoli wasn't where he was now. We get that, but context still says he got beat. He got beat, plain and simple. Not knocked out, he got beat and got outboxed. We're now saying with Bucoli, even though this is the better Bucoli still is not at the realm of facing off against championship level type contenders. Jared Anderson was a top 10 fighter at that point in time. No question. Absolutely. But the issue was, even still, Jared Anderson is not a Joseph Parker. Jared Anderson has not faced off against a prime Joshua, a prime Joyce, a prime Big Bang Jang. Not even faced off against somebody like the likes of a Deontay Wilder from the standpoint of threat level. And so Parker, coupled with his chin, with his hand speed, with his more elusive nature and good quality elusive nature, that is a lot better than what he dealt with against the likes of Jared Anderson. Better defensively, as well as has a chin to be able to take your punishment and can also go the distance with you if it goes that route. We're looking at Anderson and we're looking at Parker and we're saying, brother, you got everything that can make Bucoli be incredibly mad and force that brother to fight outside of his element. You can make him fight out of his game plan simply by making him mad that the fight isn't going the way that he wants to. And when you do that, now you got Bacoli where you want him. Now you got Bacoli not thinking. Now you got Bacoli genuinely struggling. Now you got Bacoli, I can't hit you. You're not hurting me, but I can't hit you. I can't land clean. I keep getting frustrated because now all of my normal tactics, they ain't being effective. You're adapting. Now I got to adapt. Do I have that in me now? And that's where he can beat him. Bacoli's got all the tools, and I think he's going to knock him out. But Bacoli can also get frustrated. And Bacoli can also be outboxed. And Bacoli, against somebody with good speed, and somebody that has a good chin and legitimate experience to be able to use the fundamentals of boxing, as well as power to at least make you respect him, which Parker does have. He's got the tools to be able to say, nah, you ain't there yet. So that's what can beat Bacoli. That's what can make Bacoli lose this fight. Frustration, experience, and from the standpoint of boxing, if we see Parker adjust to the style of Bacoli, and Bacoli can't adapt in his own right, we got ourselves a problem. And Bacoli may just see there's a difference in being within the ranks and being talked about as a contender and truly being a contender. That's what Joseph Parker can do to beat him. And so, yeah, at least in my estimate. So hopefully that answers your question as best as I can of what can make Bacoli lose, or what may lose Bacoli this fight. And it's the fact that Bacoli is genuinely as good as he is, as dominant as he is, as dangerous as he is. Everybody's dangerous until they aren't dangerous. Everybody's a monster until they're not a monster. Everybody's got power until you can't land the punch. That's where the struggle lies. We saw it with Joyce. We saw it with Wilder. We saw it with AJ. And now we can potentially see it with the likes of Bacoli. As strong as you are, if you can't land the shots, because somebody's got experience to know where to put their head, has got the experience to how to be able to slip under, like he was doing against Wilder. Got the experience to be able to know, even if you do land, where to put my head to where I'm mitigating the punch. Or I can trade with you, so you're never pulling away. That's what Joseph Parker has in spades from the experience standpoint. And Bacoli hasn't been there yet. He can prove it. He can be it. No question about that. But this is going to be the test. And if he can't pass the test, that's going to be a hard night. It's going to be a hard night. I'm not saying he's going to lose to Bacoli. But it's going to be a real task. It's going to be a real task. Right? So it's going to be up in the air. But I'm excited to see it. I'm just excited to finally see it. That's my biggest thing. I'm excited we finally get that fight. That's all I've been asking for. Get the fights that we want to see. And now we're finally making it happen. Thank goodness. Thank the Lord. No longer do we have to have that level of concern that we're moving in dirt and never getting the fights we want. It's great. It's phenomenal. And I'm excited to see it. Let's see. Is Bacoli a harder opponent than you think? Bacoli is. The whole reason why I'm basing my whole prediction on this is because I believe Bacoli is a bigger threat than even we may be giving him credit for now. I truly do. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Is Bacoli a harder opponent than you think? Excuse me. Is Bacoli a harder opponent compared to Dubois? Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. Oh, shoot. Is Bacoli? No. Physically, Bacoli is a harder opponent. Bacoli is a more threatening opponent. From the overarching standpoint of physical traits. Dubois still right now probably got, I left Dubois when I was talking about power out of the power conversation. Dubois right now probably is top 3 in power. Some people, because of this run that he's been on, probably will put him at 1. Minimum 3rd or 2nd. From the standpoint of physicality, the size coming in at 280, pushing 290, 292, 6'6", 82, was it 82, 83 inch reach? Just about. Dumb long, dumb fast. Physically, he's a bigger opposition to fight against. No question about it. But as a talent, I don't think he's, as a talent, no. I think Dubois is a harder fight for the likes of Joyce. Because Dubois, more than anything, Dubois has been tested. That's like let's be frank. That's the biggest thing. Dubois has been tested. Dubois has been tested in his career in a way that we haven't seen Joyce fall. Or not Joyce, in a way that we haven't seen Bacoli tested. Yes, Bacoli's lost. Understand it. But the reinvention of them has been 2 totally different things. And we've seen Dubois face off and reinvent himself to a level that, he beat AJ. Now, you can say what you want about AJ right now. No question. You can say what you want about AJ currently. But AJ still is AJ. And we weren't putting Bacoli in that conversation in the slightest up until after he beat Jerry Anderson. But even before that, with him coming up as a legitimate, talented heavyweight, he still wasn't in those conversations, and there was a good reason. Because he wasn't ready yet. Bacoli had not been tested at that level of severity of not just big-time opponent, but heavy hitter after heavy hitter after heavy. Mind you, we saw Dubois face off against Joseph Parker, and then face off against the likes of Usyk, and then face off against the likes of Jarrell Miller, and then Hrgovic, and then AJ. So this brother's faced off against two of the 4 best heavyweights of this era. And like legitimately, he's faced off against 2 of the 4 best heavyweights of this era in AJ and Usyk. And he lost one, won the second one, knocked out AJ, knocked down the likes of Usyk. And so and even after the loss to Usyk, still, you saw the mentality change and the fight style become even more effective, even more dominating than we saw for the likes of somebody like a Bacoli when he reinvented himself. And we're saying Bacoli's a monster. Dubois is a different breed because he turned himself into that level of different breed. We're talking about Dubois in the standpoint of we want to see him against Usyk again. He's ready now to fight against Usyk, to give a real best fight. We're not saying that about Bacoli. And so, no, Dubois at this stage is a bigger threat, in my opinion, to the likes of Joseph Parker than Bacoli. From all around talent and ability. But physically, Bacoli's bigger. And Bacoli is more imposing. Power-wise, Dubois may just have more power. But it ain't like it's just whitewashing. Though it's, in my opinion, it's a significant gap. I think that still Bacoli's in that conversation. But I think Dubois is on the whole a bigger challenge, in my humble estimation. Also, I don't know what's going on with the chat. Hold on. Wait a minute. Excuse me for one moment. For one minute. Let's see. Trying to make it so that why isn't the chat going through and being able to do what I needed to do. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 minute. We're still here. We're still live. We're still doing the show. We just have to make one quick adjustment. And then we were going to be right back into the fray. Are we here? Okay. There we go. Try it. I think we should be good. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's see. Let's see if Bacoli learns from Anderson. Yeah, it's 75-25 for me. Potentially, hypothetically, it could be. Again, I think it's this fight, it's more like, probably because of the experience, 55-45. And well, actually, shoot, I don't even know how to put this fight. I can't even put a number to this fight, honestly, because I'm like, I know Parker can beat him, but I don't feel like he'll be able to beat him. But it's not like it's like this isn't just a whitewashing affair. If anything, it should be Parker should be favored because it's Joseph Parker. But Coley's shoot, this is the type of matchmaking that is good. That's the best thing I can say. This type of matchmaking is the quality type of matchmaking that we want to see on a consistent basis when it comes to not just heavyweight boxing, but boxing as a whole in this grand scheme of it all. Also, and so, but also, hey, what's up with the, hold on, Jose Martinez, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show today. Again, I'm trying to figure out why exactly we have a situation where the chat isn't pulling up. I think something got stopped. I don't know what, but something got stopped. We're trying to fix it right now, but regardless of which, we're still going in and reading your comments. We'll see Saturday if Bacoli is that monster that people are hyping up. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. We're going to see. Again, the rubber is about to meet the road. And the brick's about to hit the fan. Everything is about to come to light in terms of what exactly Bacoli is. I don't want to see Bacoli just be a hype job. I don't want to see Bacoli just be seen as somebody that isn't, that ain't worthy of indeed. I don't want to see Bacoli as somebody that's just a flukes, a farce per se. I want to see Bacoli, even if he does lose, put on a good performance. Make us believe, yeah, you are worth the hype. Yeah, you a bad brother, and you still young, even if you lose against this fight. But when you learn from this fight, you're going to be a dangerous man for anybody to be able to go and face up against. It's going to be interesting. But we're going to see. It's going to be no question at all that we're going to find, it's find out season. That's what it is. It's find out season. The whole of Riyadh season has been find out season. This is one of them. How many times we've seen our hype job be talked up, but then they're never tested. And then when we do, we're let down. Now, if you're a hype job and if you're about that smoke, if the opportunity arises, brother, you got to make a statement. Show what you about. And that's what they're doing. Showing what they're about. We're going to see if he's real. If he ain't, oh well. If he is, even better. You know, I'm excited for it. No question about it in the slightest. Let's see. Now, if Bacoli doesn't learn, let's see. If Bacoli didn't learn from his fight against Anderson and does the same thing, he's losing a boring decision. I don't think it's going to be boring. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't think it's going to be boring. I think this fight is going to be I think this fight is going to be good. Both of these people are fighting for something bigger than just another opportunity. This isn't just a comeback fight. This is a fight for a potential title shot. Next. Immediately next. So this is expect fireworks. Because this is Bacoli that we're talking about, but that man he is fun to watch. Joseph Parker is fun to watch. You never seen you. We don't talk about Joseph Parker as just somebody who just goes and throws and is just boring. Never. All of his fights, win, lose, or draw, are in some way, shape, or form exciting. He brings the fire. And he faces anybody. Hence why we love him. That's exactly why we want to see this fight happen. And that's why I'm excited to see it. No question. I'm excited. I can't wait to see it. I absolutely can't wait to see it. No question in my mind. Don't worry, where Bacoli lacks, his team will fill in. And we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. No question in my mind. We will absolutely see if Bacoli's team can fill in the blocks on short notice. If they do, phenomenal. Or if he can just figure it out by himself, even more dangerous. But only time will tell. But my gosh, when we were all lamenting what this fight was potentially going to be, next thing you know, this thing just turned on its head. Everybody's excited for what this fight's looking to be right now. And I'm ecstatic. I'm incredibly, I'm breathing a sigh of relief. I thought this was going to be a horrible situation. And now, hey, it's back to greatness. And I'm excited for greatness. Don't get me wrong. But again, is there anything else you all want to discuss on the show? We've covered just about everything in the boxing world that we can cover on today. Is there anything you want to talk about? Any types of conversations? We can keep on talking about the likes of Better Be Here versus Bebo. If you haven't seen, they just said, I see Justin Parker getting knocked down potentially, and we're gonna see if that transpires. We can also see the likes of Better Be Here versus Bebo. If you weren't here last time, we can see these two having incredibly. I mean incredible. Intense racing. Oh, yes, indeed. That's happening. The undisputed light heavyweight title. I gave my prediction. I gave my thoughts on what I think was going to happen and who would win. But now, I want to hear from you. The only thing I have to hear all of everybody's thoughts the last time round. Who do you feel is going to win this fight between the likes of Better Be in your estimation? If you have your own predictions. I gave mine. I'm going to show. We're going to see what happens. Listen, the same thing Parker did to Shane won't work on Bukoli, right? Yeah, no, it should. Absolutely it should. It should. Now, will it? Time will tell. But should it? Most likely not. Most likely it won't, because it won't be able to last. Because of the stamina that we know that Bukoli has on a day-to-day basis. That's okay. Again, I'm trying to figure out why my chat is suddenly going and not operating as according. It is boggling my mind. It is concerning me to no end. But indeed, we should operate and work. Real quick, as we still got a little bit more time. When it comes to Bebo versus Better Be, if we see Bebo or Better Be, whoever wins the undisputed light heavyweight championship, the rematch, the main event, do you think Benavidez can beat any of them? Because he's next. Beyond just what we have with Bukoli and all the other fights on the card, we also got to look at the grand scheme of the ripples of this card. The ripples are going to be not just Tank potentially fighting, not Tank, Shakur potentially getting a shot with fighters such as Keyshawn Davis. Remember how he shows up in this fight with the likes of Pat. Not just with Bukoli and Parker getting a shot at the heavyweight championship within their next fight, depending on this fight. But Better Be Here and Bebo, whoever wins this, and I think now it's been confirmed, if they win, if Bebo wins, it's a trilogy. You're having a third fight guaranteed. If Bebo loses, then Benavidez is getting the third fight. No question. Or Benavidez is getting the shot at undisputed. If we see Better Be Here win, do you think he can beat the likes of Benavidez? Do you think he can beat Benavidez? Genuine. Do you think that Benavidez can beat the likes of Better Be Here? Hold on. What is it? Hold on. There's something wrong with the audio. Hello? Testing 1, 2, 3. You said there's something wrong with the audio? Let me see. Give me 1 second. Let's see.
Bebo versus Benavidez.
Let's see. Okay. We're testing. We're working. We're moving. You say something's going on with the audio. Let me see. Let me see if I can fix it. Can you tell me what the problem is? If you can hear me. Hello? Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Are we okay? Okay, it's good now. It's good. Okay, we're good. Okay, excuse me. Sorry, my apologies. My apologies. I don't know what happened, but I think we got it fixed. But regardless of which, now, in fact, let me set some stop gaps real quick. Okay, there we go. We should be good. So now back to the question at hand. Benavidez versus Better Be Here is the main fight that would happen. That would have to happen. Because if Bebo beats Better Be Here, so many B's. If Bebo beats Better Be Here, they're having a trilogy. It's been confirmed. So no longer is it that it's just going to be outright regardless of the winner. If Benavidez wants to fight for the undisputed title, got to fight Better BF. And Better BF has to win. But if that fight did indeed happen, do we really think that Benavidez can beat the likes of Better BF? And it's concerning because I truly don't know. And I'm starting to say no. I really am. Because we broke down the Bivol fight versus Better BF. And we were saying, I was saying that because of Better BF and him being healthy, being fully healthy, having the ability to be something that can go and fight amongst, or being fully healthy, meniscus healed up, no longer having an issue and problem, being able to come up the ring even more effectively than he did the first fight, being able to walk down and put more torque in his punches, not having to worry about what's going to happen in that knee messing up again, potentially without a knee brace and all. He's going to have a better time beating the likes of Bivol. And against Benavidez, same thing could bode true. But in a firefight, it's going to be knockdown, drag out. Though we know what Benavidez is as a fighter. Brother, that's a tall task. And I'm starting to question whether or not Benavidez can actually beat him. And it's going to be, I'm not saying he can't. But shoot. Like, talk about an underdog of anything. That's a fight. It's dangerous. He can win, but my gosh, it's a dangerous situation. Absolutely, it's a dangerous situation. And I'm starting to question whether or not he can win the fight. But I would love to hear your thoughts on it all. Just food for thought. But let me also see what else you had to say. David doesn't beat Bivol or Arthur. He can maybe beat Bivol, but only if Bivol gets knocked out by Arthur. So yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. He's more likely to beat Bivol than to beat the likes of Better BF. I'd say that Bivol versus Benavidez is more of a 50-50 fight. Because of what we've seen from David Benavidez every single fight out. And it can be like, it's going to be volume for volume. Boxing acumen versus added boxing ability coupled with incredible aggression and incredible incredible volume punch. Precision volume punch. And it's like, that fight is more of a 50-50 fight. If we were to make a 50-50 fight, then Arthur BF versus Benavidez. That turns into a knockdown, drag-out brawl that I know it's going to be. Benavidez is going to get exactly what he's been doing to all of his opponents. We keep saying he beats up, breaks bones, bloodies up opponents, wears them down, not just tires them out, beats the will out of them. That's what Benavidez does. Better BF does that on a whole different scale, on a whole different Richter scale. And so, my gosh, brother, that's dangerous. That's dangerous in so many levels. That's dangerous to the highest, to the nth degree. And if that did take place, insane. But it would be a good fight. I think we see Benavidez on the floor or get stopped outright if that fight didn't indeed take place. But if he pulled it off, my goodness, my gosh, that's a whole nother conversation. If that fight did take place, but he's gonna be there, Riyadh season this Saturday, and if we see Benavidez win, if we see Benavidez win, he's stepping into the ring, and they most likely making that fight happen. Oh boy, get excited! Oh, get excited! Get excited! Because this is the season for big time fights. It's here and now, and I'm excited to see it. But let's see what else you had to say. Jose Martinez, what else you had to say? What you think of other boxing channels on YouTube like IBPF or IBFP and Showbiz? So, honestly, I try to keep track of what's going on in the greater landscape of the social media world. And I respect them. I respect what they're doing. Showbiz, again, like I said, Showbiz right now is the front runner for what we're seeing for boxing and the social media age turning into mainstream appeal. Oh, he's incredible. He's been able to go doing podcasts with Dan Raphael, with who's the brother that does color commentary for the Zone. He did color commentary for Undisputed. I can't think of his name. I can't think of his name for the life of me. Is it Chris Maddox? Not Chris Maddox. Shoot, I can't think of it. But doing podcasts with them, going out and having opportunities to interview Arthur BF and others. And it's like, nah, this man's making waves. He's making moves. And it's great. because he's giving people a new outlet into how boxing should be viewed, which is phenomenal. I'll be perfectly frank. I went while watching Teddy Atlas and trying to learn about the sport. Others genuinely were like others like Showbiz helped me cultivate my knowledge. Like I said, Stephen A. Smith has a great quote. And I'm not saying I'm great or anything, but I know what I know because I know I'm not the smartest in the room. I'm not great, so I listen to people who are great and then become great with what they know and then try to expound on my own. And so it's like, yeah, I all respect them, love what they're doing, no disrespect. Now, I'm not trying to start any beef. I ain't got the only person that has a problem, the only person that I don't like in terms of how they cover boxing is a person you all may know. They'll go unnamed, but you can probably guess who they are. If you know what I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. Again, I'm going to keep it vague, but that's the only person I got a problem with in terms of how they, like their rhetoric and how they go about talking about the sport and other fighters. It goes beyond favoritism. It's something that don't need to be. It's clicks off of hate. Not just like fan type hate, like person to person type hate. That's the problem. I don't rock with that. I don't rock with that in the slightest. But everybody else, I ain't got no problem. I ain't got no problem with it all. And again, I apologize. The chat for some reason is stalling out, and so I'm trying to make sure everything's on the up and up. Whereas as of right now, we're rocking with just this banner because that's all we got. But I'm gonna keep reading to see what you all got. Hey, we ain't gonna let that stop the show. We're gonna keep it going and keep it pushing. Let's see. I already read the thing with Jose Martinez. You watch Money Boxing, hilarious channel, very passionate. No doubt my favorite channel in terms of boxing and interviews with fighters from time to time. You know what? I have not heard of him. I'm gonna be perfectly frank. I try to keep track, but I'm learning about new channels all the time. Like I said, I'm new to this whole thing. And again, beyond just boxing, though that's what got everybody into the door. I'm trying to be multifaceted, but boxing's what y'all want, so that's what I'm gonna give to you. But regardless of which, hey, I'm learning about channels all the time. And great, phenomenal. I'll check them out. I'll see what they're about. And if I don't know, I'll see them. Again, I always want to learn and grow. See what people do, how they go about it. What's their it factor. Exactly. All love and respect to them. But I'll go check them out and I'll see what they're about. He was part of the huge Wilder Tyson Fury war. Oh, so he was one of the big instigators for the Wilder Fury war that was going on YouTube. Wilder Fury, Spence, Crawford, Garcia, and Haney. So he's been like the instigator for all of the humdrum that has been with some of the biggest high profile fights that we've had. My gosh, that's his lane. Apparently, again, from what I'm hearing from you. My goodness, shoot, that's oh yeah, I need to check it out. I want to see what that's all about. Brother, what's your pick on the card? I got Better Be Here, by the way. He healed from his surgery and already heard people. Hey, you may not have been here last show, but I did all the I broke down the entirety of the card Tuesday. I broke down every fight except for Shakur versus now Padley, but I broke down Shakur versus Floyd. I broke down the whole card on the last episode if you want to check it out. But real quick, I'll go through what I had in terms of my picks. Let me finish reading your other comments, and then I'll tell you all my picks for the card on the night. But let's see. In terms of the boxing channel you were referring to, lots of screaming and cursing. That's part of the passion. So don't like it, but love seeing the passion. Hey, like I said, everybody's got their own flair. We'll say that. And if it brings you in, hey, support them and enjoy them. Absolutely. Lots of big channels used to be friends with each other till these fights started. Now, I'll touch on that. I'll touch on that real quick. That old sentiment. Because that is something I've been seeing in terms of channels all of a sudden starting to, I don't want to call it tribalism, but some friction getting into play. I'm going to touch on that real quick. But in terms of the greater landscape of my picks for the whole card, to give a quick rundown of the whole entire situation. In fact, let me pull it up. Let me pull it up versus so I can make sure I give it to you properly. When it comes to my solid picks for the whole of the fight card between Bivol and Beterbiev, again now with the newly made changes, Callum Smith versus Batiste. I got, you know what? I said Callum Smith. I'll go against my gut and I'll say Batiste wins. I'll say Batiste beats Callum Smith. Big Bang Jang versus Ajit Caballero. I got Big Bang Jang if it's within 5 rounds. If it's not, then I got Caballero. That fight, a little bit of favoritism. Zhang's one of my favorite fighters. I want to see him win. Get a title shot before you get out of this incredible longevity that you've been showing in this division. One of my favorite fighters. So, a little bit of favoritism there. But, genuinely, I think Zhang can win. But if it's within the first 5. If it goes beyond 6, Caballero. Because the work rate that I can see him do on the whole, coupled with the good combination punching upstairs and downstairs, the fluidity in his offense, as well as fight by fight getting better and better defensively. Oh boy, it's gonna be a tall test. This is gonna be his stopgap, and this is gonna be Zhang's kind of biggest litmus test for this standpoint. Because he already lost to Joseph Parker. If he loses this one, might not ever get a shot at the title. So I got Zhang winning this one. If it's within 5 by KO. We're going to see. Carlos Adames, is it Adames or Adeems? We'll go with Adeems. Carlos Adeems versus Hamzat Chavez. I got Hamzat Chavez. And that brother's gonna blow Carlos out of the water. My gosh, I'm telling you, Chavez is up next when it comes to the division of boxing. He is a star in the making. That has got power, got speed, got some great technical ability, great solid fundamentals, and he's exciting to watch. He will put you out in a heartbeat. Oh, that brother's gonna be fun. I got him winning that fight by KO. Shakur Stevenson versus Josh Padley. I got Shakur Stevenson, no question about that. Joseph Parker versus Martin Bacoli. Now I got Bacoli beating Joseph Parker in what would be an upset, but I got Bacoli beating Joseph Parker. I could be wrong. No question about that. No question. And it could even be just in the immediate reaction of, oh my gosh, it's Bacoli. Maybe I'm letting that a little bit drive my sentiment. But genuinely, Bacoli's built to beat him. And if he can legitimately utilize some of the similar tactics to Joe Joyce, like we talked about earlier in the show, and with those short uppercuts and hooks, especially with that jab and that lead right hand, that power right hand they can use as a lead right hand. That also was or in this case, it was the same hand, I believe, that knocked out the likes of Joseph Parker versus Big Bang Jang. I think he can knock him out. And then Artur Beterbiev versus Bivol 2. I got Artur Beterbiev by knockout. I got him by knockout within, I think in this fight, within 9. I think he's going to get it done. Or unanimous decision. Because the knee's fully healed, and I don't think Bivol can do anything else to improve on his game plan. The only thing he can improve on is taking more risk and planting his feet. And doing that against Beterbiev is built for disaster. Even using more movement potentially mitigates you to having more stamina loss. And with a more effective person like Beterbiev able to now cut off the ring even more effectively with the knee injury fully out the way healed. And he was able to do it with the knee not even fully recovered, though it was healed. Now, there's going to be a problem. Oh, there's going to be a situation. And Bivol, the only way you can win is to take risk and fight him off for you. In fact, take the fight to him. And you do that, dire straits. I broke it down more in the last fight. I have the timestamps you can watch it. But yeah, I got Beterbiev beating him and knocking him out within 9 rounds or unanimous decision. That's what I got happening on the card. And so yeah, so let's see what people have to say. Cameo is Floyd. Canelo is Floyd. Oh yeah, Canelo's Floyd's son. Yep. It's a That's his name. Hey, look, hey, he improved. He got taught a lesson. More aptly, Canelo is Floyd's, or Floyd is Canelo's teacher. Canelo is Floyd's student. He learned from Canelo, both in and outside the ring, business and in the ring. Turned to what he had. So yeah, he did get beat. Would be interesting to see Canelo versus Floyd Mayweather now. Now that would be an interesting fight. Like I said, Canelo caught Floyd. Floyd caught Canelo when Canelo was still on the come up. Still great, still dominant. Still, I believe, had been a champion. But also, was nowhere close to what he turned into now. Now, this Canelo, that would be a dream fight. This version of Canelo versus the likes of Floyd, at that point in time, I'd love to see that. I would love to see that wholeheartedly. And see, not bad prediction. I got better BF 1 and 2. Okay, see, also, Troho, I believe that's how you say your name. How you doing? Good to see you. Appreciate you tuning in to the show. Hopefully you're leaving a like on the stream. Thank you so much for coming in with what we got going on the card. Like I said before, I go in detail, like really in detail, on all these fights on the last podcast, on the last live that you can go and check out. I got all the timestamps put out so you can listen to skip around and see them all. Probably gonna put out clips of it. And we gonna be, if y'all want me to, we gonna be covering the fight tonight, Saturday. Going through the whole thing. Starting at 11, ending at probably 9 o'clock. Dare I say we may go till midnight. Shoot. I may need some money for food. I may eat on stream because it's gonna be something incredible. I always hit the comment button. I appreciate it. I love it. I love it. Appreciate you all. Again, if y'all want me to, like I said, we're going to put out a poll. We're most likely going to do it anyway, but just to get the feel of the pulse of the audience, we're going to live stream, most likely live stream the fight, the whole card on Saturday with Bevo and Better BF. To the last crescendo. Oh, it's going to be a time, especially now with Bacoli coming in. Oh, it's going to be great. Hey, hold on. We got people coming through. Wait a minute, brother. How you doing? Appreciate you. Good to see you. You just found the channel. Well, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you got me. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so happy that y'all got us going on. Again, shoot, we've had, 250 people come through. We got 12 people staying. We got people chatting in the comments. We got people like L741L. Hey, brother, appreciate you. If this is your first time, welcome to the hottest show in all the globe. The Watchable with me, Jean-Louis Welch. If you didn't know, again, I'm not into the show, but just to give some quick hype to the show. We here every Tuesday and Thursday talking about basketball, talking about boxing in the greater landscape of sports as a whole. We go, we interact, we have some fun. We do it all right here for you, the people. We don't do it again. We live, we love, we debate, we learn, we all teach each other, and everybody gets to see the real breadth of the true community that this place has to offer. And I mark my words, we're gonna laugh, we're gonna say some ignorant stuff, trust and believe, we're gonna have some fun, we're gonna debate, we're gonna make this show the best that it can be. And this is the intro music. We normally have a bunch of stuff happening at the start of the show. We've been hyping it up. We're available on every podcasting platform imaginable, and we just be having ourselves a time. And if this is your first time, hopefully you stay, hopefully you subscribe, and hopefully you'll share the show. And we want to give you the best experience possible because that's what you, the fans, deserve. Don't trust and believe. And so, yeah, I'm just giving you the best I can. Hopefully I'm not rambling too long. And hey, if you don't agree with it, or if you don't agree with whatever I got to say, or y'all get debates or whatever, we put it in the chat. We go, this show is as free-flowing as the wind. So we hit our bullet points, but we can pivot at any way, shape, or form. And mind you, we are a fan of the sport, not just of fighters and or athletes. We try to be as unbiased as possible. I try to give you as best of quality viewpoints, perspectives. Not aiming to change your mind in most situations, but aiming to help you give a new light on what a situation is, context behind whatever we're talking about. And to tell the story of the sports the right way, whether it's boxing or beyond, to help everybody be able to understand what greatness truly is. To keep that standard where it's supposed to be. And judge everybody, not in a negative sense, but judge everybody contextually properly in the standpoint of the grand scheme of the sport. So we can put people in their proper context. And we can have quality debates that are like, okay, yeah, This isn't something outlandish. This isn't something that's just ridiculous. And so, hey, we promote everybody. And everybody's welcome. No matter black, white, female, male, don't matter. We are here to make everybody shine. Help everybody grow. And just have some fun that way. And make some money on the side. If you know what I'm saying. If you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean. And so I'm just being funny. But again, we do this because I love doing this for you all. Y'all help make this, again, great. And hopefully this can be something I do for the long haul, whether on here or on television. Ooh, boy. Trying to make some stuff happen. Yes, indeed. We're going to see if we can make it happen. But regardless of which, all this is just because of you and your support. So I appreciate it so much. And also, Franklin Zana, how you doing? Good to see you. Appreciate you coming in on the show. Thank you so much for coming in. And hey, you caught us late, but you caught us right on time because you here. And whenever you show up, it's exactly when you need to show up. Absolutely. And again, we're winding down. We're telling you in the show, it's almost 4 o'clock. Doggone, we've been here, almost 3 hours. Ain't felt like nothing but a day. My goodness. But regardless of which, is there anything else y'all want to discuss? Any other questions y'all want to talk about? Whatever you would, hey, you got 5 minutes. And we got to shut it down. Because I do got some stuff I got to do. But we got 5 minutes. Whatever you want to talk about within those 5 minutes, we can make it happen. Again, Franklin Zana, L741L. Appreciate all of y'all. Trollo. Jay Will, Jose Martinez, Canelo's Floyd's son. It's gonna be. Shoot, I might just say CFS to keep it short, but we'll come up with some nicknames for some people because which everybody tuning in to chat. Thank you so much. But we're gonna ready to wind it down. Anything else y'all want to say? Anything else y'all want to talk about? Get your last request in. Because once this thing hits 4:05, we locking up and we getting out of here. Because I got some stuff I got to do. I'm going to be completely frank. I don't want to leave, but I got to go. And that's why I'm glad I got my coffee. I ain't even drunk halfway through this thing. And whatever y'all want to discuss, we can talk about. Oh, almost forgot. The movie. Before I leave, I got to talk about the movie. How some people hated it and loved it. But real quick, let me read some of your chats. Again, Franklin's on it, already acknowledge it. How you doing? Appreciate you coming up and tuning in. I've seen some of your vids, first time catching you live. You're pretty fair. We all have our favorite fighters, etc. So I don't mind. So don't man. Oh, hold on. Let me make sure I'm reading this right. We all have our favorite fighters, etc. Too, but you don't. Man fan too much. So it's good. Again, I try to keep it fair. Cause hey, as if I was on TV, I'm doing this like I'm doing this to the world. I'm trying to be a voice that everybody can look and latch on to. Because of that, I gotta make sure I got a standard that I gotta make sure I keep up for you all. Cause anybody can be a fan. Love it. I'm a fan of people. I got my favorite fighter. My favorite fighter right now is Inoue. Quickly turned into one of my favorites of all time. Quickly catching up. But I'm not gonna, if he ain't doing something, I'm gonna call it. If he's doing something, I'm gonna call it. And regardless of which, my favorite or not, it would be a disservice to me, or it would be a disservice to him, as me being a fan, to not hold him to the standard that he should be able to reach. And what's already been set by past greats. If I don't, I'm letting my favorite fighter slide. And if I do, that makes it so his greatness, I'm trying to fake it. And I shouldn't have to. If anything, I want him to prove it. Not even him winning or losing. Just go and test yourself. And show me what you really are. I'll still love you. But show me what you are. That's all I ask. That's all anybody asks. That's why we love Sean Porter. That's why we love Joseph Parker. That's why we love Derek Chisora. That brother loses all the time. He just had a resurgence, not beat Joe Joyce, knocked him out twice, knocked him down twice, beat Otto Ali, knocked him down twice, and that brother is supposed to be on his way out the door. My gosh, he keeps winning like this. We may just want to see him against a legitimate contender. Shoot. And he's the pride of the UK. It's because he showed us what he was and was unapologetic about it. That's what we value. Make your mark, whatever that mark is. And don't cheat the game. You don't do that, all respect given. And that's why we love it. Exactly why what do you think about what do you think about two fighters being sick in Saudi? So I think we just covered this. I think we covered this early, but you might have missed it. Great. We're running back with Dubois and Schofield out of the card. now being replaced by Josh Padley and Bacoli. It gave us some real concern at first because we all thought that Schofield was more so trying to fake stuff. Shakur had already talked about he was scared that Schofield would pull out the fight. We were seeing with his dad saying all that stuff and some speculation of him missing weight. Now, excuse to get out the game. That's what was being talked about. Now, however, with now Dubois also being injured or also being sick and pulled out, okay, the whole masseuse thing was fake. That ain't real. That's a bold-faced lie. But the sickness is real. The masseuse situation that Schofield Sr. tried to put as to why his son was sick, that was a bold-faced lie. But the sickness itself is real. And so, no, you legitimately couldn't fight. Okay, fine. Some grace. Is he losing out on money? Absolutely. Is it going to be a situation where it may hurt him in the long run? Hypothetically. But not because he can't fight on the biggest card of his life. More so because of his dad. And him saying all this stuff, even with Schofield legitimately being sick, his dad has made a stigma against Floyd that has caused Floyd now to be seen as, oh, you never wanted to smoke in the first place. Even if it was legitimate, like it seems to be in this situation, that he just couldn't fight. And so that could hurt him genuinely, more than just missing out on this card in the long scheme. I could be wrong. It could genuinely be that he gets another big fight. And we see Shakur win on Saturday. And then they actually get to fight with Schofield versus Shakur at a later date in the summer. Phenomenal. Everybody's hunky-dory. That's potentially what could happen. But if it doesn't, don't expect to see this brother genuinely have that sickness being held over his head, not because of him, but because of his father. And I hate it. And with Daniel Dubois, I hate it. Because I just wanted to see Dubois versus Parker. And it's like, dang it, man, that was going to be a war. That was going to be a knockdown, drag-out war. It was going to turn into such because of how Dubois is fighting now, which is great and incredible. And I picked Dubois to knock out Joseph Parker. And I was like, it's going to be phenomenal to watch. But now, can't wait to see it. But this could be a blessing in disguise. Because regardless of, we could see, like I said before, Bacoli versus Parker. Now that fight's set in stone, and Usyk has said he's only got 2 fights left on his resume. Now we could see the winner of this still getting an undisputed title shot. But it'll be against the winner of Usyk versus Dubois. And they just go on ahead and make Dubois versus Usyk as Usyk's first of his 2 last fights in his career. And then he fights the winner of Bacoli versus Parker. And whoever wins that first fight between Usyk and Dubois, undisputed champion, take that belt and fight the winner of Parker versus Bacoli, and then you're fighting for the title. You potentially in quote unquote a best case scenario, get a 2-time undisputed champion Usyk now fighting either an epic comeback story in Joseph Parker or the what do you call people? What do you call people from the Congo? Congolese monster, the Congo monster, and Martin Bacoli, and that is a boogeyman for everybody and proves it. And now you set up potentially 2 legacy fights for Usyk that help tell his story of one of the best in the history of this heavyweight division, not just top 15, and potentially higher than just top 10. Potentially within top 5 in some people's minds. It's a great story. It's a great timeline to follow. So I'm excited to see it. But that's my feelings on the 2. The sickness is legitimate. It's going to hurt Schofield more than it's going to hurt Parker. Parker isn't going to be hurt because that brother's turned into a reinvention, which is good. He could still get a fight with Usyk, even with this fight with Parker not happening. Because they still want an undisputed champion. Somebody's got to be undisputed. They want that. And then on the side of Schofield, he's going to be hurt by this more than Parker because Schofield is a product of his father. And Schofield's father set a precedent that we don't like him. Hence, we don't want to like you. Though he's exciting, though he's young, though he's got some power, though he's still got some edges that he needs to shell up, but he is still somebody that could have given Shakur and a lot of people 135 and still will give a lot of people at 135 a whole boatload of trouble. But the very fact that these opportunities slipped by like the way that they did, by proxy of his dad, makes him look bad. I hate the fact that that's the case, but that is the case, irregardless of which. It's a fact of life in this boxing game that his own father made for himself. Just like with Teofimo Lopez and his father, and just like with other father and son tandems in the boxing regime that can be great like Inoue and his dad, or can implode severely. It can be bad. It can be very bad. It can turn you into a laughing stock, like with Devin Haney and Bill Haney. It can be bad. Oh, yes, it can. And so, hey, all I can say is only time will tell what the real effects will be. But all I know is we'll see them all again sooner rather than later. And they won't let the opportunity pass them by this time. And I hope everybody stays away from everybody within the build-up to this fight. Not another person better get sick. Not a one. If I see one more situation where we get some level of last minute replacement, my gosh, oh gosh, it's been saved by some standpoint of the fateful turn of events. Thankfully, thank the Lord, it got saved like it did now. But we can't afford anything else happening. Oh shoot, we can't afford something else happening for this to still be a card that people are going to be invested in. My gosh. My goodness. Oh, gosh. Please don't let something else happen again. If it does, I don't know what to do. Y'all may not want me to stream the card if we see that fight happen. Or if we see another fight potentially not transpire. But with all that being said, shoot, it's 4:11. I think it's time to wrap it up. I think it's time to go. It's been a phenomenal show. I appreciate you all coming in and staying for this long. Please leave a like on the stream before you leave. And with all that being said, this has been another episode of Fight Buzz. Brother, you came in just when I was about to leave. Doggone it. Shoot, hold on. Wait a minute. Fight Buzz, no. Brother, oh my gosh. You came. Fight Buzz, how you doing? Appreciate you coming through. But you came in when I was... You came in when I was getting ready to wrap it up. Doggone it. We've been here for what? Almost 4 hours? Which, again, my gosh, I'm not expecting to be on for this long. Normally it's supposed to be 2 hours tops. I don't know why we keep going 3, pushing 4. But y'all love it, so apparently we're going to keep it rocking. But regardless of which, oh, shoot, man. Look, just like I said with Franklin and everybody else who tunes in, it don't matter when you show up. You ain't late. You on time because you're here. That's all that matters. That's all I care about. I'm just thankful that you showed up and you took time out your day. That's all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, sadly, I got to go. We got to wrap it up. Isn't Padley rated higher than Schofield? That's actually, before we leave, let me answer that question real quick. Let's answer it right now, shall we? Let's go through and look up Josh Padley's ranking. Like I said before, we don't speculate. We go through and we give you all just the up and up. Ain't no need in trying to be something that we ain't. Let's go on and do what we do best. Let's see, right here. Josh Padley, as a boxer, now he's trending because everybody's trying to find out who the world this brother is. He is ranked number 29 in the world in the lightweight division. He's the third best in the UK, but ranked 29th in the world per BoxRec as of right now. And the rankings go as I bring it up right here on the screen for those of you who want to watch. It goes Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Vasily Lomachenko, Williams Zepeda, Raymond Murtalia, Zaru, excuse me if I'm muddying some of these names. Zaru, Keyshawn Davis, Shem Noakes, Yoshino, Abdullah Mason, Floyd Schofield ranked 11th in the world. As you can see right here, Floyd Schofield, 4.5 or 4.5 star rated fighter, rated just above, or just under, Abdullah Mason, rated under Yoshino, and Keyshawn Davis, who currently is a champion. The current champions right now are Javante Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Lomachenko, and Keyshawn Davis. So that's where the rankings are right now. And Frank Martin's down here in that bottom 13th. And body is what ranks out the top 15. So as you can see, Schofield is the 11th ranked fighter. And the 29th is, Josh Padley. And it's not, no disrespect to Josh Padley, but that boy ain't nowhere close. And I do mean nowhere close to the likes of Schofield or Abdullah Mason or Keyshawn Davis or anybody of that matter. And so it's all good, brother. Let's see, Fight Buzz TV, all good, brother. Can't wait to hear you talk through the card, or talk to or through the card. All love, bro. Also, real quick, we about to get out of here, but we're gonna put out a poll. Please vote. Do you want me to live stream the full fight card for this weekend? Just got to get a last minute feeling of the oven. Get the temperature of the kitchen. We're trying to cook up in here. We want to make sure that, hey, we are equipped to do it. If y'all want me to go and stream the fight live and do a live fight call, either chat yes in here or go through, comment on, or vote on the poll, that I'll put up at the end of the show. And this show is also going to be on every podcasting platform imaginable. But with that being said, I think that's about everything we covered. Again, Fight Buzz, I'm sorry that we couldn't have more time together. But trust and believe, you're going to want to rewatch this whole show. We had a lot of stuff to talk about. My gosh, it's been a day. If you want to, you can go rewatch it. And just thank you for tuning in, irregardless of which, again, you're never late. You're always on time because you're here, and that's all that matters. And we appreciate it so much, just taking out time in your day. It does my heart truly good. And y'all mean the world to me, because I'm giving you the best I can give, because that's what you all deserve. No question about it. But now that that's been said, we got to get out of here. So now, officially, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another edition of The Welch Report with me, Jean-Louis Welch. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the show. Please leave a like on the stream before you leave. Tell everybody that you know about this channel, about this show, about what we got going on. We're here every Tuesday and Thursday. We're going to see if we can call the fight on Saturday based on what the poll results are going to be. We're also available on every podcasting platform imaginable, going through the world of Apple, Spotify, and every major podcasting platform. And if we're not there, tell me, and I will get there. Also, rate us 5 stars on there as well. We are growing. We are pushing through. We're turning into an empire. Absolutely. And it's all thanks to you and your support. I've been Jean-Louis Welch. Y'all have been wonderful. Well, we will most likely see you all Saturday. Vote in the poll. Peace and love. We are out of here. Yes, sir. See you all on a full episode next week. And most likely, depending on the poll, calling the fight on Saturday. Mark my words. It's going to be a time. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your afternoon. Everybody be safe. Everybody be blessed. Have fun. And we will see you all next time round. Peace and love. Stay safe. And we getting out of here.